I can swim. Just can't walk or dress myself. Take it easy. Take it easy.
Salute, and welcome. Welcome back to the Black Ocean Announcement. I'm getting deep in with your host, the one and only Great Black Shark. And yes, family, tonight we have to talk about these billionaire buffoons and the reason why it's not wise to worship wealth. Oh, yes, we're going to get into several things over here tonight. And I know everybody has been somewhat talking on a lot of what I'm going to discuss here, but I guarantee you they didn't cover the bases that I'm going to cover over here tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and give my disclaimer. At the onset of this broadcast, all of you that are day ones, you already know what I'm about to say. If you're the type of person that you worship celebrities and you worship money and everything in between, except for good character, actual characteristics that are honorable, then you're not going to like tonight's broadcast. I'm going to piss some people off. I'm about to turn a couple of your sacred cows into unholy hamburgers. Oh, yes, I am. That's what we do over here. We're going to get down to the nitty gritty and nothing but the truth. Yes, we are. So just letting that be known and go ahead and letting people know that they can get ready to hit the dislike button, unsubscribe, whatever you feel you have to do. You better go ahead and get ready to do it because we're not going to spare any truth over here tonight dealing with this subject matter. Okay. So now that we all know exactly what we're going to be dealing with, let me go ahead and greet those of you who are my esteemed guests in the building. And let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. Give me a black fist or a thumbs up in the chat if my audio is coming through very clearly. See who I see. I see Scotty Jenkins in the building, Kevin Blackwell, Charles Gibson, Mrs. L is in here. Denisha Murdoch is joining us. Emma Johnson, The Only Pamela's Way, Patricia Jenkins. I see you. Let's see. Diesel Mike, what's going on, my brother? Tina Collins is in here. Derek Parker's in here. Let's see. Josh Norris, I see you. Stolen Ancestors 1526. All right. So it looks like we got most of the regulars in the house. We're going to go ahead and get ready to get started. And I got a new sponsor for you, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I do. I think this one is going to be befitting of what most of us are feeling today as foundational Black American freedmen. First and foremost, congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles. That actually was one of the first Super Bowls that I watched in years. I just stopped watching the NBA, NFL, and all of that for various reasons. But my brother Kendrick Lamar showed out at the halftime performance. Oh, we got everybody and their mama mad. The Mayo people mad. The Tellers are mad. Oh, it's just mad all around. And I don't know about you, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm catching their alabaster and tethery tears. Oh, yes, I am. I'm catching them in different little thimbles to hold on to and preserve their moments of agony and misery because they hadn't seen anything yet. We're just getting started as foundational Black American freedmen, respecting our lineage, our people, and our culture. And, you know, hey, that's just a new way on the sun. You all may as well get used to it. Those of you that are angry, you ain't seen nothing yet. So, family, I'm going to play this sponsor coming up here tonight. And it's going to be befitting of a message, and it's going to come from a comedian, but it's a very timely message because it's a comedian that told us that there was going to be a great deal of truth starting to be revealed, and definitely we starting to see that now, okay? We started seeing it last year when he said it, and we continuing to see it now. So we're going to get into this sponsor, and right after that, we're going to start breaking down some things from the A road to the zero.
Because I'm saying, you think I'm just in Mexico and I'm defending America. Because are you Mexican? Do you know where Mexico is? No, this ain't Mexico. It used to be Mexico, motherfucker, and now it's Phoenix, goddammit. I bet you don't leave here and go to Mexico, motherfucker. Go get you some chicken speech. I'll beat you cabrón. Do you You know where you at, nigga. USA! 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 I don't give a fuck. No, motherfuckers think they can live in this country and then still be allegiance to another fucking country. If you love another country more than you love America, motherfucker, then get to step into that bitch. So if you love Mexico, bitch, get the fuck over there. And as for my Mexican American homies, revolution! Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what's so You don't know what my family did for this country, bitch. You ain't did shit, nigga. Fuck, we were slaves, bitch. Y'all just work like that at the landscapers, motherfucker.
Yeah. My brother Cat Williams told Jorge, Hector, or Emilio Rodriguez, whatever the hell his name is, he had to let him know exactly what country he was in because family, let me tell you something, that clip right there speaks volumes for a lot of foundational Black American freedmen and Americans outside of our lineage, okay? But definitely for those of us who are foundational Black American freedmen, descendants of slaves, yes, that exactly sums up how we feel about all of these tethers, all these people that are over here, illegal aliens. Nah, you're not going to come over here and disrespect this country. Not going to come over here and disrespect our lineage. And we're going to check you no matter who you are. And speaking of checking, we're going to go ahead and get straight into tonight's broadcast because we're going to be doing some checking of some of these billionaire buffoons. And yes, one of them is of our lineage, Kanye West. And you see his good old buddy, good old pal, Andrew Tate up here. Oh, yeah, we going to break some things down about these clowns tonight because, see, let me tell y'all something, man. Let me make this clear because you have a lot of slow people that may not understand where I'm going here tonight. So I'm going to make it pig simple for you, okay? When it comes to the acquisition of wealth and resources, everybody with any ounce of common sense that's a functioning minded adult knows that you do have to have wealth, okay? You have to have wealth. That should be the goal to attain it, but you definitely need functioning economics in order to survive in society, okay? Need viable economics. That might not always add up to wealth, but you do need money of some sort, currency of some sort to survive, okay? So nobody is arguing that. The problem is too many people, unfortunately, in our community, you think just because somebody has a large sum of money, that that's somebody that you're supposed to worship the ground they walk on as if the sun sets in the crack of their ass. And that's a very stupid thing to do because a lot of people tend to make the argument that, well, if they're wealthy, they must have did something right. That means they're smart. And no, it does not always mean that, okay? And that doesn't mean that. Look, some of the dumbest people on this planet have vast sums of money than any of us in this chat room could even fathom, okay? Any of us, all right? Now, let me explain what I mean by that. Usually people think that A lot of these people that are wealthy, that they acquired their wealth through business savvy or using whatever talents they have. Now, that can be true to some degree. Okay, definitely it can be true to some degree. It would have to be partially. But when it comes to common sense, that is something that you cannot learn in a classroom. Okay, that is something that you can't buy with money. Either you have it or you do not. Now, let us be clear. In Kanye West's case, we understand what he's been through in his life. We know that this man is mentally ill. But I need for you to understand something, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to him in particular. As wealthy as this man is, do you know he's very vulnerable? I'm going to explain what I mean by that. He's very vulnerable because he has a mental condition. People are preying on him, using him to just make a fool out of himself and crash out. And we're going to prove some of that here tonight. Oh, yes, we are. Because, see, regardless of his mental condition, and we don't pick on anybody with mental conditions. However, just because you have one, he's a functioning mentally ill person. Okay, let's be clear. He is functionally mentally ill. All right. Now, just because he is, that doesn't mean that he gets a pass on things that he's done that are detrimental to Black society. Okay. And for all the chess move morons that's going to come up here, I'm going to make you look crazy tonight. So you might want to hold your horses. If you're one of them and you're listening, hey, you might better find some wheels to go because I'm finna hurt your feelings. Let me tell y'all something, man. The moves that he's making right now, we saw how it started. And a lot of people were like, yeah, see, he's still a billionaire. He was all planned to get him out of these contracts and all of this. Okay, that's fine. But see, you better understand that white supremacy plays the long game. They love for a joke to take a long time to pay off. And by now, we've seen countless times that it doesn't matter how wealthy a Black person is, that does not insulate you from this system of white supremacy in no way, shape, form, or fashion. You saw what they did to Bill Cosby. You see what they did to the dealer. You see what they tried to do to Jay-Z, whether you agree with them, disagree with them, like them, don't like them. I think my point has been proven, okay, on that. Recent history has shown us this. Not only that, we can go back in the past and look at having any amount of money or status is not a protection against the system of white supremacy. It's just not. Now, let me tell you something. When it comes to Kanye West in particular, a lot of people will look at him and, oh, you think he's doing great? You think he's winning? An untreated mental illness, that's not going to bode well in the long run. But see, if you see how he's being set up, and I'll prove it here tonight, he's got his money, but you look at what he's tagging along beside him. Now, you see the white supremacists are like, oh, my God, he's forcing her to do this. Bianca Censori, his wife, okay? Those that don't know who I'm talking about. They think that he's forcing her to do things. Oh, no. He's not forcing her to do anything. I'm going to tell you something, and I don't say this with any joy, but that woman was sent over there to this man to help him crash out. And I'm going to prove what I mean about that a little bit later here. But see, let's get to his buddy, Andrew Tate, that you see him cheesing with. Now, for those that don't know, let's give you a bit of backstory on Andrew Tate, or as I call him, Andrew Tater Tot. His father was a foundational Black American Grandmaster chess champion, and he married his mother, was a white woman, a woman from the UK. Okay. And, you know, they split up. She took kids, took Andrew up to the UK, and that's where he was raised. All right. So he's biracial. He has no connection to foundational Black American freedmen culture. He was not raised with Black people. He was raised with his white mother. Now, this sounds familiar, doesn't it? Oh, Barack Obama, anybody? Yeah, Kenyan father, white mother, raised with your white mother's folks, okay? Now, let me say something to my biracial brothers and sisters that are over here, because I know I have many. This is not a knock on you. You cannot help who you are, okay, or who you were born to. That is not your fault. Salute to the good sister Sakina Collins for the cash out. Thank you. Can I help who your parents are, who you were born to, okay? So this is not a knock on any of you. I don't want any of you to think that. What we're looking at is where your mindset is, okay? Now, there are many biracial people that identify as Black because they full well understand that you are not going to be accepted by the white side of your family. So your best bet would be to try to join with your brothers and sisters in Black America, because in America, you're going to be classified as Black, okay? Yes, genetically, you are half and half. You half white, you half Black, genetically. Not talking about religious beliefs with all these people talking about the seed of your father and all that other stuff. We're talking about science, things that you can prove with DNA. We're not talking about belief systems, okay? So let's go ahead and get that out of the way. Now, since he's in the UK, he has a different understanding of a great many things. And one of the things that, you know, our recently departed ancestor, Neely Fuller Jr., has taught us about white supremacy. If you don't understand it, everything else that you think you do understand will only confuse you. And in the UK, white supremacy is definitely over there. That is one of the headquarters of white supremacy, but it operates a bit different over there. Okay, it operates a bit different. All right. And see, I noticed something about Andrew Tate online. A lot of times, if you look at his tweets, he says we and us in regards to American affairs as if he's an American citizen, which he is not. He is not an American citizen. Okay. And I looked at that and I said, we, us. And then I thought about it. I said, no, when he said we and us, he's actually saying that as if he relates to a lot of these white supremacists over here. Because see, he straddles the fence on a lot of stuff, but I'm finna prove tonight that he mostly is over there with them folks, okay? He is not one of us. And I'm gonna show you why this is a dangerous thing. This is gonna be something that a lot of our listeners that are non-FBA are going to learn a great deal from here tonight. Because see, let me go ahead and make this plain for everybody. Over here in America, we don't play that straddle the fence game. This is our lives on the line. So you're not gonna be a biracial person. 1 minute you over here kiki and the cockine with the white supremacist, Doja Cat, anybody, okay? And then next minute you all over here, brother, this, that. No. You're gonna pick a side. Oh yeah, you are. You're gonna have to pick a side. If you're going to be around foundational Black American freedmen that have sense, you are. Because, see, we can't afford to have white supremacists operating in our midst that are, I got to go here. And now I do. Again, I say this. I understand why Dr. John Henry Clark never wrote that book he was getting around to writing called The Role of the Bastard in World History, talking about the tragic mulatto, okay? We don't have time for any tragic mulattoes to be amongst us, and your heart is half on one place and half on the other. Not in these critical times, not in this hour of our history. We do not have time for it. So when it comes to Andrew Tate, he also is a billionaire, for those of you that don't know this, all right? But just as I said about Kanye West, you cannot teach common sense. He and his brother Tristan Tate, both are biracial. They have the same father as far as I understand. He just can't keep himself out of trouble. Y'all know his struggles. He's, he thinks he's some little wannabe pimp. And see, the thing about, I got to do this. It's going to hurt some people's feelings, but I need to say it. The thing about some of these tragic mulattoes, especially the ones that are raised overseas like him, their introduction to Black culture is through entertainment, okay? It's through hip hop, it's through movies, it's that, the third. Because see, all you have to do is listen to the way Andrew Tate talks, and you can tell that that's what his introduction to Black culture is. I'm gonna prove that here tonight as well. His introduction to Black culture is basically the caricature stereotypes, okay? Because he wasn't raised with any Black people. I guarantee you, if he came and hung around any group of foundational Black Americans, especially, he would stick out like a sore thumb, completely socially awkward. Now, he can probably get involved in the UK, because as you know, there are not foundational Black Americans over there to the same number as us. All right. There's mostly people from the Caribbean and the continent of Africa over there. So he can probably get by around some of them. But see, y'all know that we have a completely different mindset than them. All right. So now he and his brother Tristan, every time you turn around, they're involved with some type of sex trafficking, this, that, the third. And, 1 minute they got charges, another minute, something else is popping up. And a lot of that is still unresolved from what I understand. But I'll say this. When it finally comes down and everything crashes down around him and his brother, it's not going to be pretty. But let me talk to Black parents for a second, okay? Because I'm going to be the one to tell you the truth about this. If you have teenage sons, you better be very careful about them listening to him. Because see, now I'm going to make some grown men mad tonight, or grown males. A lot of people, okay, and some from our lineage, got to tell the truth. A lot of them are tellers, but some from our lineage, definitely. They latch on to the things that both Kanye says and Andrew Tate says, because these are people that they're not very well studied. They don't understand who Dr. John Henry Clark was, Dr. Joseph Ben Yakinen. Definitely hadn't studied the work of Neely Fuller Jr., Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, so on and so forth. I can tell you they hadn't. So when they hear somebody basically coming out here saying the most outrageous, extreme things, they think these people are very bold. They think that, they're ahead of the curve. They're so much smarter than everybody else. When really, like, if you think that these two nitwits are intelligent, then you don't know what intelligence is, okay? Because the minute that you start trying to play footsie with white supremacy, that proves you really are far removed from any semblance of intelligence or common sense, and you playing a very deadly game if you're a black person or a biracial person, okay? Because, see, the thing for the tragic mulattoes, like Andrew Tate, you really are in the middle of a rock and a hard place, because them folks, if you know anything about the UK's history and Charlotte of Mecklenburg was biracial, and, they hate any type of biracial person because you can sneak them black genes right back into that white bloodline. And you know what Dr. Francis Cress Welsing has taught us? That means a genetic annihilation for them. Now, for anybody that wants to argue with that, all you have to do is point to recent times and see how they treat it. Do I even have to go here? Meghan Markle. Family, Meghan Markle, remember when she got with Harry and had that baby? Why you think they're not over there in the royal palace as we speak? They had excommunicated Harry. Basically, in a nutshell, they're like, look, you want to go play with this little nigger, this little half negress? Go ahead and have your kids, but until you come to your senses, you and her can get the fuck out, okay? You think that they spent all this time whitening up that bloodline and getting rid of Charlotte of Mecklenburg's genes to have him sneak it back in here with this little half biracial tragic mulatto? You really think? Look, let me tell y'all something. The UK white supremacists are the OGs. Do you hear me? These are the godfathers of the transatlantic slave trade, okay? For those of you that are young that don't know your history on that, it started with the Portuguese, okay? Then it moved right. Well, first it started with the Arabs, to be honest. Let's go further back to the beginning. The Arabs first started it. Then the Portuguese adopted it. Then the British latched onto it and created what you see today in the history books known as transatlantic slave trade and American chattel slavery, all right? That's how that went. Arabs, Portuguese, British, all right? So now, the Kanyes and the Andrew Tates. Now, when you look at Kanye, let's give him credit. Musical genius, talented. Can't take that away from him. A lot of us enjoy his music, okay? A lot of us do. But the problem with people that are very talented in things like music, not all, but the greater majority, whether it's music, sports, acting, comedy, whatever it is, usually the greats are so good at that, they spend all their time owning their craft to the point that they don't really learn anything outside of that. And that's very unfortunate. And again, I'm not speaking in absolutes. I'm speaking in what is more common to see. Every now and again, you will have an entertainer, an athlete, okay, an artist or a comedian that is very well studied on many things. I can name a handful. My brother, David Banner, will be one brother that stands out, but he's few and far in between, okay? Very few and far in between that you will see those like him, all right? So now, in Andrew Tate's case, let me give you a bit of backstory on him in case you don't really know. He is actually a retired kickboxer. He was fairly good. He was fairly good kickboxer. I watched some of his matches, and from what I saw, hey, he was a decent fighter. He wasn't anything to you be like, oh my God, he's something to dial home about, but he was a very decent fighter, okay? Yes, he had several wins on his belt by knockout, all right? So, he does have that to him, but see, when it comes to his case in particular, being that he was not raised around any foundational Black Americans, and the Black people that he did grow up around over there in the UK, they're not connected to the history and studying of white supremacy the way we are. Completely different ball game. So he has this viewpoint on the world, and y'all know I've covered him before on several broadcasts. He has this viewpoint of okay, well, all you have to do is just work hard, try hard. The old pull yourself up by your bootstraps mentality. It doesn't matter what race you are. That goofy accent that he has. All right, that kind of stuff. And yes, I'm my UK brothers. I know I can't do a UK accent like that. Okay, but that's him. You get the point. The problem is the rest of the world does not see that way. See, the thing about whether it's a coon or a tragic mulatto that hasn't been properly educated, just because if you're a coon, you choose to ignore these things, because Kanye knows some of this stuff that he's doing. He knows cooning. Or if you're a tragic mulatto that hasn't learned, the world does not take pity on you with that as far as white supremacy. White supremacy doesn't care whether you pretend not to know it exists or you don't know it exists. You will be a victim of it if you are a black person in any shape, form, or capacity. Okay? So now, with Andrew Tate's rhetoric, he does a lot of the gender warring. And I know why a lot of guys latch on to what he says. It's like, okay, you can look at some of the stuff he says when he's talking like he got some sense. You be like, okay, I see where you're going with that. But then, as I'm going to prove here tonight, he goes off on those extremes, and then he leans right on over there into that white supremacist territory. And I'm going to tell you something. I put this poll up on my community tab a couple of days back. For me, I do not trust people that lean or play footsie with white supremacy in any capacity. I don't give a damn how much money you got. I don't give a damn how famous you are. I don't give a damn who you know. I don't care about your talent. I don't play games like that. You understand? That is a life or death issue for me and my people. All right? So now, we're going to scroll on along here because we're not done. We got to talk about some more things here tonight because, see, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Exhibit A. Now, if you check the community tab a couple of days ago, you saw I put this post up. And you saw this on Patreon as well. Now, for those of you that don't know, this is on the left in the blue hoodie, white supremacist Nick Fuentes. Okay. Now, he's a Hispanic white supremacist. Okay. A white Hispanic white supremacist. He is the founder of the online troll group called the Groypers. Very dangerous white supremacists. I think along the lines of the Proud Boys, but these little geeks rather cuddled together online, okay? But don't get it twisted. If they're in groups and they're out there and they see some black person by themselves, they'll try it. They will try it, okay? This will be considered their leader per his own words, all right? Since he founded it, that's what he said. And as of course, you see on the right-hand side of the screen here, his good pal, his good buddy, Mr. Kanye West. Okay, now, Mr. Kanye West is called Nick Fuentes, a good buddy. He's a pal. He's a friend, okay? Now, let me talk to you people that like to worship around Kanye walks on and you think that he's making all types of chess moves. Okay, he's just so brilliant. I have a question for you. And I'm talking particularly to those of my lineage because I don't expect a lot of the non-FBA people to get it because, unfortunately, I got to be brutally honest with this. A lot of the non-FBA people, especially if you've recently immigrated from somewhere, you look at anybody that has any significant amount of money as if, oh, they're to be worshipped. They're the greatest thing since sliced bread because a lot of you come from destitute situations. Not all, but a lot of you. Got to go there, okay? But those of us that are foundational Black Americans, you should be used to being around, even if you don't have it, some measure of economic stability, all right? So you shouldn't just be in a desperate mindset like that. But unfortunately, even so, some of my lineage tend to think that, okay, anybody with a lot of money is somebody that's trustworthy. For me, let me ask you this question. Would you trust someone that tells you that a white supremacist is their best friend? A white supremacist that has called for violence against Black people? A white supremacist that has been known to orchestrate violence against Black people? Would you trust somebody that will tell you that that's their partner and they can sit down and kick it and, oh, they're buddies, they're pals, and they see their side and their point of view? Would you trust them? I want you to let that question sink in for those of you that are going to throw a hissy fit because I'm finna tell you, boy, a new one over here. See, I need to make this stick. I'm not going to be the person that's sitting here regaling and waxing poetic about all the brilliant moves that Kanye's made because regardless of whatever you've done that can be considered in that category, when you play with white supremacy, that makes you pig fucking stupid in Black America, okay? So now you take a good look at this picture. Got him sitting up here in his private jet, flying to who knows where when this picture was taken. Both of them on their phones. And I'm going to show you something, and I want young Black people to pay attention to this broadcast tonight. The minute that white supremacists start praising you, you know you done fucked up, okay? You know you done fucked up. Yeah. So Got to go ahead and bring that back to people's attention because, see, a lot of people like to try to forget stuff like this when Kanye goes on these crazy antics. And yes, we're going to cover some of that crap that he was saying on X. You know, he's recently got his account suspended again, you know, for just going off the deep end, all types of crazy bullshit. And see, let me explain my position on why I take the stance that I do on a Kanye West or anybody in our lens. I wouldn't care who it was. Reason why I take the stance on that, as a foundational Black American freedman man, it is my job to be the chief protector and gatekeeper of my community. I'm one of them, all right? Really, it's the job of all men, all right? But definitely I know my role. So when I see a threat amongst us, I don't think a threat is cute. I don't think none of that shit is fucking funny. I don't look at it as like, oh, that's just him. He just being Kanye. No, fuck all of that shit. This is not anybody to be looked up to. This is not anybody to be held up on a pedestal. Because you saved that for our grace. You hold up and uplift and remember and reverence the likes of a Neely Fuller Jr. and those so on and so forth ahead and before him, okay? Those are the people that I hold in high esteem, the people that actually have done a great deal for Black America, because the wealth that Neely Fuller Jr. left behind is worth far more than anything that Kanye West has given us. You understand? And if that made you angry, well, then you really are lost. You really are lost. And I'm not going to waste time trying to explain that to anybody that doesn't get why I said that. Okay? Now, got to show you something else. Let's get to what I was telling you about Kanye and the setup. Okay? So now this article comes from the Mirror. Okay? In fact, the business, hold on. I'm going to get this article and put this in the chat room so that you will understand exactly why I'm saying what I'm saying. Let's see if I got this put in there for you all, because see, you really need to check this out and pay attention to it, because let me tell you something, right? Let me just go ahead and make it plain. I honestly do believe that they sent Bianca Censori to him, because once they find out what your vices are, you think back to the early 70s, okay, mid 60s, early 70s. Hey, they see Black people have a talent. Oh, your weakness is Cadillacs, white women, and cocaine. Cool. We're going to make sure you got access to plenty of that, so that when you start crashing out, hey, you'll never see all the trickery and all the treachery that we got coming your way. I mean, think about it. When you keep somebody happy and distracted, it's easy to take advantage of them. Add in a mental illness, and hey, man, you hit the jackpot. So, family, I want you to read that. Bianca Censori declared special power of attorney to control Kanye West's comeback. All right. Bianca Censori married Kanye West earlier that year there and allegedly has special power of attorney to get a handle on his career after years of negative press has reportedly affected him. Now, let's be clear. When they say power of attorney over him, they're talking about she's got power of attorney over his money. Now, for the young people and the uninformed, let me enlighten you. When someone has power of attorney over anything in your life, first of all, you have to sign that over while you're cognizant. And in some cases, it would have to be if you're incapacitated and couldn't do it. That would have to be like if you're a direct spouse or something like that. Now, I'm putting this article in the chat room. I'm going to put it in 4 times for you all to reference for yourself. You can read through the entire thing at your leisure. But basically, I'm showing you this to let you see that, oh, she is not a victim like you think. Oh, no, no, no. Let me tell you something. White women are the most destructive, crafty, demonic, devious creatures on this planet. Don't you understand that if a bitch is close to somebody with as much money as him, let's walk through it now. Because, see, you know my audience, we do it different over here. We don't just wax poetic because somebody's famous or they have wealth. Let's talk about how this is set up. Don't you understand that these alabastresses, if they see somebody with a mental illness worth billions of dollars, you think this bitch ain't willing to get naked and play a role just to continue to help him crash out? I wouldn't be surprised if she's encouraging him to tweet a lot of that nonsense that he got going on. Because don't get me wrong, I'm not blaming it all on her. But I'm saying is you need to understand the way that the American alabastress thinks, okay? Or at least those over here in America, whether they're from here or not. Her father is somewhat of a mob boss or something like that, and uncles as well. So she's got some heavy hitters connected to her and her family. But you don't think that they had a conversation with her Do you not understand the extremes that they will go to acquire wealth? See, you need to understand what I said earlier about him being very vulnerable. If you a black person and you are distant from your family, we know that his mother has passed, okay? And that led him down a tragic spiral. He didn't really get a chance to assess himself and heal from that. And that would be very painful for anybody to go through. So there's no mockery of that. I understand it. But you better understand that the vulture started swirling then, okay? So now if Kanye isn't cool with anybody else in his family, he's out there on the island with them folks. Because you know that they don't care about you for nothing other than what they can use you for. You understand, family? So now you imagine he's out there. She's playing this role because let's take a look at her. Kim Kardashian, you see, that's what she had going on. So now you think about it. If I'm the mastermind trying to plot to get him to crash out so I can secure his finances. I'm taking notes, okay? So I got to get something that's close to Kim Kardashian. Let me send that to you. Okay, it's got to be somebody that doesn't mind being a fucking slut in public or carrying herself like one. Okay, check. And I wouldn't be surprised if that woman is on all types of psychedelic drugs and things of that nature. You think that they don't come a dime a dozen in Alabaster America? You really think they don't? Huh? So now you send her over there and she's just competent enough to play the role and follow instructions. Let me make it even more plain. Y'all don't think she's taking orders from somebody? Talk to me, family. Y'all don't think that this woman is taking orders from someone telling her, hey, look, do this, XYZ, XYZ. Hey, string them along, tell them to say this. You see what I'm saying? The boy actually was selling Nazi t-shirts online. Now, see, let's deal with the other thing that a lot of people keep talking about Kanye. Oh, he's marketing genius. Oh, he's brilliant, this, that, the third. Sure. He's good at drumming up controversy. It can be good if you're trying to sell something. Let me warn those of you that are young, and let me talk to the old folks in the room if you're a business owner and you thinking that this is the way to do things. You better be very careful what type of publicity you drum up for yourself as a black person, because see, a white person could do everything Kanye did and nothing would happen to them. Ladies and gentlemen, is Kanye West white? Somebody talk to me. Is he white? Because last time I checked, he wasn't. Does he look like a white man to anybody in my chat room? Does he look white? I need to know. Because maybe my eyes are playing tricks on me, or maybe I just don't get it. And you know what I'm saying? He went through some type of transracial change, and now he's a white man. Because as long as he's black, this stuff that he doing here, it's gonna stick with him and stay with him. And you better understand, like the same way they was talking about anti-Semitic, this, that, the third, and that hasn't went away, by the way. When they start slapping all these labels on you, even if you have wealth as a black person, that is not going to save you if enough of them get together and decide to say, okay, you know what? You the one, we going to get you one way or another. And see, let me show you how strategic they are. They burning the candle at both ends. He's crashing out on his own because he's mentally ill, okay? Then you send this woman over there to him, and hey, he's thinking that he's on top of the world. Oh my God, I've got this going, I got that going. Oh, broke niggas this, broke niggas that. He was carrying on about that. And I actually responded to one of those tweets. I told him, I said, listen, man, and I don't know whether he saw it or not, but I did that to teach a lesson to my audience. I told him like this, if you follow me on X, you saw the tweet. I told him that no matter how much security that you have, there are kings and queens and empresses that have had security. However, when their time came, none of that was able to save them. All it takes is one. All it takes is one. What happened to Julius Caesar, huh? He had security too. His security killed him. What happened to Caligula, Nero, huh? Those were former emperors of Rome that went insane, and when the time came, the people turned on them. And in this case, the worst enemy is right next to him, pretending to play a role. Now, the white folks will have you believe that she's some innocent, helpless flower, and the big bad black man is making her do this or that. It is exactly the opposite. This is a serpent controlling the strings behind the scenes. And I'm going to tell you something. I say this with no joy. Kanye's end is going to be devastating, family. It's coming. I'm not wishing it on him, but I could see some type of overdose or accident or something. It's coming. It's coming. She is too close. It's ramping up. It gets to the point where you see the pattern when they start calling you all kinds of names. Then you see somebody, like I said, with his mental illness that's going untreated. There's no black people hardly ever around this man. Definitely not any family that you could recognize. Does anybody think that's going to go anyway except for bad? You understand? Then you kicking it with white supremacists too? Oh, man. It's not going to end well. But see, we're not done. We got to analyze some more things here. We're going to scroll right along because I just want to prove my point on something. Let me show you something. Now, this is from Kanye West's account before he, got himself suspended. I figured it was coming. It was just right around the corner. So had to grab a couple of things from it. Let's discuss this, right? Let's read this tweet from Ye. Okay. Quote, straight white males never get the cathartic expression of being the victim. They wife, Lord Kanye, come on now. You too wealthy to be doing this. But they wife may be a full bitch or they son might have died off fentanyl. Such compassion he's showing for these white folks. Let's continue reading. They may have lost their jobs cause of cutbacks. You too wealthy to do this, Kanye. Straight white males never had a voice till Trump gave them their voice back, and now he's in office. End quote. Now, family, see it yet again. I have acknowledged several times that I get that he's mentally ill. But I'm going to ask a question here tonight, and I want some audience participation because I need to see if I'm the only person that has sense enough to recognize this for what it is. Mentally ill or not, do you not think that someone that's thinking like this is a liability to the rest of Black America? Look how sympathetic he is to them folks that don't show us an ounce of compassion in this country. He's showing compassion to people that, when we all saw George Floyd murdered, where they knelt on his neck for damn near 8 minutes. And then after that was over, they putting up memes, mocking that, teaching their children to do it, doing the George Floyd challenge. And they still being disrespectful about that. We see them mocking the same thing about Sonia Massey. This woman at her home, come in, race soldier shoots her in the face and kills her. We saw how they mocked the death of Jordan Neely, calling Daniel Penny a hero. This is who he's praising now, this community. Then in the end, he's talking about straight white males never had a voice till Trump gave them their voice back. When the hell have they not had a voice, family? How do you not have a voice when you control the lion's share of the mainstream media? You control the greater majority of the government positions, whether it's the Senate, the Congress, governorship, mayors across the country, definitely the presidency, okay? And you may as well throw Barack Obama there because he was a little tan white man. Yeah, I'm going there. When the hell have straight white males not have had a voice? I'm trying to figure when this time period has been, family. Can you enlighten me on that? Anybody in my audience? When the hell have straight white males not had a voice in America? Educate me on this, please. See, the reason why this man is a liability to the rest of Black America, again, it is tragic, the things he's been through. But I'm going to tell you right now, if I have to make a decision about protecting my community and my family, that doesn't mean just because you have some type of illness that I ignore you. No, a threat must be quarantined. That's as merciful as I could be with that. And I'm going to go a step further. Should quarantine not work, a threat must be put down. I want you to understand what I'm saying about this. Am I saying that he needs to be deleted or anything like that? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about a threat in general, okay? And in this instance, I would definitely say, hey, look, we got to ostracize him. Because, see, if you thinking like this and you discompassionate towards these white supremacists and you kicking it with them like Nick Fuentes, hey, man, I can't trust you around me or mine. I don't know where your head is. Combined with your mental illness that you refuse to spend money to get help for, because he's in a very dangerous position. Let me talk to you about why just having wealth isn't enough. Because a lot of young people don't think this far down the pipeline, and Kanye West is a perfect example of it. If you wealthy and you functional as a mental ill person, nobody can tell you what to do. Nobody can make you do anything. Then you think about you surrounded by people that's not your family, that don't give a damn about you. hey, their job is to make sure you continue to go further off the tracks than you've ever gone, okay? They're looking for you to crash out. You understand what I'm saying? You see how wealth can be a double-edged sword, because wealth alone without wisdom or people around you that you can trust, it actually leaves you quite vulnerable. Combine that with arrogance and then you blind to the reality of the world around you. You understand? See, you got a lot of people that don't understand that arrogance is never a good thing. I've taught y'all this for years. Arrogance, look, take arrogance into any competition situation, okay? Take arrogance into any competitive situation. Going into on a basketball court arrogant, underestimating your opponent, football field. You better not step in a boxing ring doing that. Huh? You better not step in any mixed martial arts competition doing that. You better not step onto an actual battlefield being arrogant. Don't you ever underestimate an opposing force in life. Don't ever do that. The way I was taught, you better consider them equal to or greater than you, okay? Because see, when you underestimate someone and you arrogant enough to overlook them, you make yourself vulnerable because you can't see their full potential, and it leaves you weak to blind spots, okay? You have blind spots that make you very weak to what this adversary is truly capable of. I don't keep arrogant people around me, and it's something that I make sure that I do not develop in my life. I've seen what that ruin that has cost individuals, and I have seen what ruin that has cost collectives over the course of history. Do you understand where I'm going? See, what I'm doing here tonight, this broadcast, is going to be hard for a lot of people to understand what I'm saying, because we live in a society that teaches people to worship wealth, and no matter how much status or fame you have, that's the only thing people can see. They can't see beyond that and look at the character and common sense of a person. See, if today the greater majority of people, and I'm not just talking about in Black America, if the greater majority of people had the same reverence for people that have common sense, this place would be a lot better off. It really would. But that is not the way of things today, because see, wealth creates this illusion as if these people are to be worshiped. The only person that you should worship is the Most High, if you're a believer, okay? Worshiping flesh and blood men and women that can grow old, get sick, and die like you, that is not wise, especially when you see them doing blatantly stupid things. So see, these tweets like this, some people may just blow this off as like, oh, that's just Kanye. I'm like, okay, are you crazy? I have to personalize it for those types of people. Would you trust someone like this with your life? Would you trust someone like this to be in your community, in your neighborhood, around your kids, if you have this much sympathy for these damn white supremacists? Would you trust them? We ain't done yet. Oh, no. We are not done. Because, see, again, you know you done fucked up when you got Tate top praising you. Teamwork, top Jeezy. Now, you see he quote tweeted that, and above Kanye's tweet, he said, I channeled Andrew Tate on a few of these tweets. Oh, you did? Okay. I'm glad you told us that, Mr. Ye, because, ladies and gentlemen, you know I'm not done. Oh, he said he channeled Andrew Tate. Let's take an examination of some of the stuff that he channeled. Okay, let's see what Andrew Tate talks about that he called himself channeling here. Okay, I told you, I'm finna turn these sacred cows into hamburgers over here tonight. So here's a tweet by Mr. Andrew Tate, the person that he said he was channeling. Keep this in mind now, this is one of his buddies, and I showed you proof of that. See them all huddled up together, cheesing and kiki and kakan. And Andrew Tate is sitting here praising and you know, egging him on. All right, so let's look at Mr. Tate, the biracials, cover his viewpoints. All right, let's read this together. First and foremost, can everybody see this on the screen very clearly? I need to know, because I want to make sure that you check this out. Oh, yes, Steel Killer Trees, teamwork. You're going to see exactly what teamwork he's talking about. Because, again, a lot of people aren't going to like this, but the truth is going to be told over here tonight. Family, let's read this. He's talking to the conservatives over here. Mind you, keep in mind, I keep telling you, he's over there in the UK or Romania, wherever the hell he's hiding at. He's not here in America. He's not an American citizen, but he's always concerned about what goes on in America, okay? With the we and us and all of that talk. You're going to see why. Listen, conservatives, gays exist. Blacks exist. Notice how he's calling us blacks. That also lets you know he didn't grow up around any foundational Black American freedmen. Mexicans exist. They exist, and there's more of them than you. Okay? This is what he's saying here. It is important to accept they exist and that they'll always be around. Okay? Just don't ever let them be in charge of anything. It's like women. They largely behave when they understand they have no power. Where the Tate worshipers at? Where the Tate worshipers at? I need to talk to you for a minute. See, a lot of people don't like to go here, but you know me. I don't give a damn how many subscribers, followers, etc. somebody have. When I see something that's detrimental to my community, and I'm primarily speaking on this because whether you know it or not, if you have teenage Black sons, chances are they idolize this jackass. And you better sit them down and explain to them, you are not a biracial man, and you are not in the UK. You are in the United States of America, and you cannot afford to play footsie with white supremacy. Did you hear what he just said? He went on to name all this list of things, but notice that he put the blacks in there, call us blacks. And he said that, hey, except that we exist, just don't ever let them be in charge of anything. And you see, he has a very low viewpoint of women. That lets you know he was raised around white men because that comes from them having a low viewpoint of women. And I'm going to get to that in just a second. When it comes to these statements that he made, let me tell you something, Tate. Nobody's going to allow foundational Black American freedmen to do a damn thing. The more on code we get, we're going to take what's due us. That's what's going to happen, okay? You're not really a part of our lineage. You didn't grow up around us, so you wouldn't know that. You used to playing hopscotch between two roles, and don't let him fool you. As wealthy as he is, he's torn up because he's not accepted by white people. You didn't grow up around any Black folks, definitely not your father's people. So you just socially awkward. You kind of in limbo, so you have to show your ass and put on a false sense of bravado. He's not fooling me. I've seen this countless times throughout my lifetime. Let's get to this low viewpoint of women that he have that come from those alabaster men. See, those of us in foundational Black America, we understand that throughout history, we operate best and at our strongest when we're in synergy with our women, okay? Each in our natural roles. We don't look down on our women. Some of our greatest icons and grandmaster teachers are women like Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, Ida B. Wells, Shahrazad Ali. I can name them here and I can name those that are gone, all right? We know better than that because, see, if you go into battle with half your unit, you're going to be weak. The women are the other half of the unit in the community. So any wise Black man would not look down on all of our women. Do we critique those that are off code, the sexy red, the Suki Hunters, etc., glow realists? Yes, we do. But to try to typecast as if all our women are like that, hell no. We don't do that. That's over there in the white community. And you got this ideology from white men. And Black parents, this is why I'm telling you, you better be careful about your teenage sons, because Andrew Tate's mindset thinks like that of a white man. I've shown you over and over on this channel his viewpoints, and towards like the race soldiers over here, he's in the mindset of like, oh, just comply and all of that stuff. I've shown y'all this in the past. You can find all of this on this channel. Okay. So now this statement that he makes here, I'm just showing you a bit of what Kanye says he's channeling. All right. You better be very careful about what your sons are listening to online. If they're listening to this guy and you haven't taught them their history over here in this country and they haven't been exposed to the work Neely Fuller Jr. and others, grandmaster teachers that have lived life-saving bodies of work behind for us, you're slipping. You better tighten up. Better tighten up. So we're not done. We got to analyze further here. Let's check this out. Okay. Yeah. Another one of Kanye's good buddies. Now, you know you fucking up for real when you got this jackass co-signing you. Oh, everybody knows who this is, doesn't they? Everybody knows who this is, right? Myron, okay? Myron Gaines, a.k.a. Amral Foodle the Poodle, okay? That's what I call him. Family, this suit needs tether right here never learns. he's gone over into the hardcore white supremacists. Because I told y'all there's a difference between the little weenies that troll online and the stomp down hardcore white supremacists that are like, listen, we don't have no use for no Sambos at all. Get your black ass out from over here. He's running to several of them spaces. Y'all have seen it. Embarrassed himself. Come over to the black shit. Yeah, the black. They're like, okay, yeah, you a sand nigga. What you doing over here? Him and Tommy Sotomayor, Tommy Sambozameyer, okay? Let's read him. He says, we are so fucking back above Kanye's tweet. Now, he latches on to anything with anti-black racism in it. Now, Kanye's tweet read, the one that he quote tweeted, I'm racist, stereotypes exist for a reason, and they all be true. Now, any of us with sense know that there is no black person on the planet that has the power to practice racism on anybody, and anytime anybody try to argue that, all you have to do is ask them, what system do you have in place? What power do you have? What system do you have in place to practice racism against somebody? Racism isn't name calling. It is prejudice plus power to discriminate and deny people resources, opportunities, and kill and murder them with impunity. You need a system behind you to practice that. Okay? Kanye doesn't have the system. Myron don't have the system. None of them. Okay? But see, we're not done. Let's take a look at some things that Mr. Myron Gaines has said here, in case you're not familiar with him. Look at this. Ye just proved how easy it is to trigger a bunch of emotional pussies. With a combo of true satire, there's nothing satirical about racism. Sarcasm, racism, anti-Semitism, misogyny, and fat phobia. Okay? Now, he claims, that this was a social experiment. Okay, that's what he claims it was socialist. All right. You see Myron tickle pink about all of this. Oh, he triggered people. All this little online trolling. See, I already told y'all about weenies like this. Weenies like this that come off the porch. So they have to get on these online platforms, and now they get to pretend to be something they're not. And you seen what Myron's all about. Barking on women all the time, threatening to do things to women. Him and Tommy get along for a reason, okay? Water really does seek its own level. I had to show you that because I wanted you to be clear on who Kanye West's good buddies are and the people that co-sign him, okay? Oh, we not done because see, now fam, we got to analyze something else. Oh yeah. Take a look at Myron, okay? I want you to get a good look at this. He stay online doing this type of stupidity. And mark my words, I'm going to say it here on this platform. I've said it before. Myron and his extreme antics and rhetoric, he gonna crash out. And when I say crash out, mark my words, y'all gonna be like, GBS called this when it happened, years ago. He gonna crash out to the point that he gonna end up doing something and it's gonna be an act of domestic terrorism. It's coming. All you got to do is listen to how this boy just obsessed with the sociopathic things that he be saying online, okay? See, I'm telling you, a sociopath is not just satisfied with pretending or vocalizing things. They have to put action behind it sooner or later. And he comes from that extremist background and that culture. If you know anything about his people, Sudanese Arab that he is, it's just a matter of time. Anybody that hate women that much, and I already told y'all why he does. Situation with his mother was out there thotting and bopping on the blade. He don't know who his father is, so he's got a lot to be angry about, in case you never understood what his backstory is. Basically, in case you don't get what this little so-called meme is, this is a picture of Myron Gaines up here, and he's got it like he morphed into Adolf Hitler. Now, see, you know what I wish could happen with him? Let me tell you what I wish could happen with him and all the rest of these idiots over here that think that all they got to do is just coon and buffoon hard enough and they can be on the white supremacist team. He doesn't understand that he wouldn't think Hitler is such a great guy if his ass was transported back to the Third Reich era. Because see, that's really what needs to happen with people like that. If it was a way possible, him and all the rest of these little coons back was like, oh, so you think you're on the team? Let's transport you back to the Third Reich Nazi Germany era since you think Hitler was such a great guy and drop your ass right in the middle, okay, of their headquarters. And let's see if you can convince them to let you join the team. Let's see if that'll happen. Let's put you right over there with the Jews. Okay, let's just see if you're going to say that all of this is made up and Oh, all of this is fake then. He will show you better than he can tell you. Oh, yeah. See, him, Andrew Tate, Kanye, Nick Fuentes, all of these are running buddies, okay? Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm talking to my lineage in specific. If these are your idols, and these are the people that you idolize and look up to, hey, man, we do not swim in the same circles. We don't. We are not on the same page. This is not a harmless thing. This is not benign. You don't kick it and kiki and cock out with people that do this kind of ignorant shit right here. Okay? Yeah, and look, if you gonna do it, you ain't gonna be around me at all. I'm gonna look at you the same way as I would look at the white supremacists. You two are a threat. Those are your people. That's how serious I take that, okay? I'm not done. Oh, no. I want you to listen to their pal, Nick Fuentes here, okay? Because, see, you know you have stupid people that love to try to argue with you. Oh, yeah, they love to try to argue with you. You just don't understand what he's saying. He making chess moves. He just so brilliant. You don't get the nuances to what he's saying. Okay, all right. I'll tell you what. Don't listen to me. You might be right. Maybe I don't get it. I want you to listen to Nick J. Fuentes here. I want you to listen to him. This is Kanye's buddy, and I want you to tell me if you still think that Kanye is somebody that you're supposed to trust, idolize, and look up to. I don't give a damn how much money he have. I don't care how much status he have. I don't care what bitch he with. We talking common sense. This ain't the little boy channel over here with that goofy gender warring bullshit. You ain't gonna never hear me straddling the fence trying to tell you to look up to somebody like a fucking Kanye West that's mentally ill and you playing footsie with these fucking white supremacists. Do you not understand how many of our ancestors lost their lives playing games like that? So I'm going to play what his buddy had to say, and I want y'all to be the judge of this. I'm going to stop it where need be, but I'm going to let him go on for quite at length before I do. I want y'all to check this out.
And I'm really eager to talk about what's happening with Ye because it's so awesome. He's just awesome. And I don't mean to glaze. I know my audience is super racist. And when I praise a black person, they go, oh, well, you like this black guy. But it's just true. The world sucks. Everything that we're getting is fake. Everything that we're getting is shit. And once in a while, we get something that's really awesome. It's just real. We have a world of fakers, posers, people trying to sell us on garbage. Nobody's honest. Nobody's real. Everybody's trying to get one over on you. Everybody's trying to be perceived a certain way. And once in a while, rarely, we just get something that's awesome. We get something that's actually good, actually cool, real. And almost all the time it comes from one person. It comes from Ye.
Other leaders have done a try.
Okay, so now that's the initial statements there by Mr. Nick J. Fuentes, all right? White Hispanic, white supremacists. Now notice that if you got white supremacists calling you awesome, you know you've been fucked up. And he's awesome because he's saying all this coonish, buffoonish shit. And of course, the main reason why Nick Fuentes latched onto him, because, in case you don't know, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, and you're going to hear it here in a few minutes. He has a bug up his ass about the Jewish community. And you know where we stand over here when they try this in our circles. We let them know that, hey, don't come running at us talking about it's the Jews, it's the Jews, it's the Jews. I'm like, no. If the Jews got all this power, hey, then that means that I guess they practice white supremacy better than you. So don't come over here to us because both of you hate us and both of them are white. We don't let them play that little, well, they're not white, they're Jews. No. They're classified as white over here. And then too, of course, we cut them down with logic. Show me the black Jewish people that practice the same white supremacy that they do. Where are the black people that can jump up and say, hey, you being anti-Semitic towards me? And then they treat them the same way as they would a white Jewish person. You see how easy it is to shut that bullshit down? Yeah, see, you get common sense over here. So, Nick Fuentes said Kanye West is awesome. Okay. Now, again, you got them folks calling you awesome, man. Hey, man, I don't want you nowhere around me. That letting you know you fucking up, you're doing something wrong. If you got Andrew Tate, Myron Gaines, and Nick Fuentes praising you, them three? Oh, yeah. But see, just in case anybody still thinks I'm reaching, I want to show you what else Kanye West's pal has to say here. Okay? I want you to hear from him. Let's let him talk.
And other leaders have killed millions and other leaders have done wars, but they say this guy was uniquely the worst. Why? Technological, and specifically has something to do with the Jews. And I said, well, that's kind of an interesting thing because we have these Holocaust museums everywhere. It's all over the curriculum. It's all over the schools. It's all over the TVs. As I start to dig into it, and you find that one of the preeminent World War II historians in the history of the world, his name's David Irving. He speaks all the languages, French, German, reads all the source documents in the original language. He's like regarded as the #1 historian, makes millions, sells books, widely esteemed by the whole community. He goes in and says, well, there were attributes about the Holocaust which may not be true. Like, for example, a lot of the Jews that died in these camps, they weren't death camps. He says the people that died there, they died because there was disease spreading in the camps. They died because they were running out of food. As Germany lost the war, they were running out of the means to feed the prisoners. The Allies were bombing the railways that provided the food.
Now, let me pause this, man. Do you hear this boy? And I'm going to call him a boy because that's what he is. This bastard is insane. Let me talk to you about how he got this way. Let's talk about that. Oh, yeah, we finna cook, okay? Because, see, I need to make this stick. And, see, I want you all to also pay attention to this. Pay attention to this room full of tethers up here, because most of these are tethers. These are not our people. Foundational Black American freedmen women don't hang around people like this and hang off every word a white person say. Did y'all notice when the camera was panning left and right? All of them sitting there looking at him like, yes, massa. None of them have any type of education whatsoever. See, I'm going to tell you how I know they're tethers too, because I know a lot of people, how you know they all tethers? Let me tell you something. Foundational Black American freedmen women, even if they are not the most well-read or well-studied, they know enough about our history or the basics on who Dr. Martin Luther King was, Malcolm X was, enough not to be sitting up here with a white supremacist talking like this, even if it's about the Jewish community. This boy gonna sit up here and tell you that it wasn't because they was in their camps. Oh, no. It's because they starved. They didn't have any food. Oh, it was diseases. So let's just go with that. What the fuck do you think that makes the camp? It's a death camp. Even if that was the only apparatus, but it wasn't. They were being publicly executed. There's plenty of documentation to prove that. But see how he got this way? This little white Hispanic boy was raised up around white Hispanic folks that thought just like him. And in order to try to fit into white society, because the way he looks, I guarantee you with his hair and all of that, and he probably had a slight accent coming up, he had to work hard to get rid of that, because I can hear it come out if he really get upset and he start talking, you can tell. But in order to try to fit in, this is the stuff that he latched on to the point that he's psychotic with it. See, it's one thing if you're debating something in history and you actually have scholarship to prove that what you're saying is actually right and you're correcting a wrong, but this is not where it's coming from. What he does, all of his talking points come from the white supremacist message boards that you can easily debunk if you know anything about history, okay? That's exactly how he got that way. And see, again, I want y'all to pay attention to during this clip, how they just looking at him hanging off of his every word. This is fucking embarrassing. This is absolutely pathetic. Let me talk to you tether men for a minute. This is one of the problems that you have, because I'm going to tell you how you get women that do this in any community. Oh, we got to talk this talk. You get women in any community that do this when the men start idolizing the male oppressors. Do you understand me? Yeah, I'm talking to you tethers over there in African countries and Caribbean nations. Yes, I am. I'm going there. Your women start to idolize the male oppressors when they see you trying to emulate them, when they see you trying to fit in with them. You can be black as the ace of spades, but you sitting up here trying to identify with the oppressors like a Myron Gaines. So you need to understand something, whether women are too proud to admit it or not. Once they see the men of a community start to go a certain way, they were like, well, hell, if the men are going this way, I ain't got nothing to lose. That must be a better man than you. But see, you have to have common sense and some type of pride and be raised by an actual man like I was to be able to grasp what I just stated. You understand? See, the great thing about actually being raised in traditional masculinity as a black man and being well studied in history and being able to see how it correlates to present day, because as Dr. John Henry Clark said, all history is a current event. You're able to see these things and read the room, like the old saying goes. You're able to see how all of them are just staring at him. Listen to how silent they are when he's talking. Nobody interjects and says, wait a minute, that's not true. Or as soon as you finish, I have a point to actually ask you for some sources about that. Nobody's going to do that. You know why? Because they don't know any fucking better. This isn't me defending the Jewish community, by the way. This is me defending the truth. See, that's what makes us different from these other groups. As foundational Black American freedmen, we don't just go and tell lies about people because we have issues with them. We believe in being rooted firmly in the truth, okay? And that's all you're going to get over here on this channel, okay? So I'm going to let this continue. And again, I want you to study how all of them, even Myron and so-called Fresh, are just sitting here hanging off this boy's every word. Let's let it continue.
To the camps. And so when you see these pictures of people being shoveled in and that in the mass graves and things like that, maybe it's not gas chambers, maybe it's not an extermination, maybe these were people who still unfairly and in a discriminatory way were locked up for being Jewish, but maybe these technological horrors are exaggerated, maybe the numbers are exaggerated. This guy gets nuked from orbit, they sue him to pieces. They put together a legal team to go over line by line, every word of his books. And they come up with like a dozen discrepancies. He's made volumes and volumes. They come up with like a dozen things, none of them really important, all of them a matter of interpretation, but they destroy the man's life. And I ask myself, because then I interrogate the subject and I find evidence that maybe the Holocaust isn't as it seems. And then I think about the term, if I go out and say that, I get called a Holocaust denier. What other event is treated this way? If I say the Armenian genocide didn't happen.
Family, I want you to really pay attention to why those like myself have no patience for white supremacists that try that it's the Jews game. He sounds like a fucking buffoon because all of this is documented. Some of it is on film. Some of it is documented as far as like the ledgers of the people that were in those concentration camps and what happened to them. Hell, if you know your history on the Xerox company. Oh, let's get deep for here for a minute talking this history because I know it well. If you know your history on the Xerox company, do you know that the punch cards that were used in those concentration camps over there in Nazi Germany were made by Xerox? Oh, yeah. That's how much I know about it. Huh? You better understand that Hitler and his Nazis learned white supremacy from these white supremacists here in America. Oh, he stated that. See, let me tell you something, man. Especially for the young black men and women that often ask me how it is I know so much about white supremacy and history. I don't just study the greats amongst us, the Dr. John Henry Clark and Dr. Francis Chris Wilsons. You better believe that I studied Jared Taylor. You better believe that I read Mein Kampf from cover to cover. You better believe that I study all of these different things that they have. If they got books and articles, Richard Spencer, whoever, I'm studying that. I need to know. If you're going to put it out here, yeah, I want to see what you're talking about. And I'm going to cross-reference it with what we know from those like Neely Fuller Jr. about white supremacy. And that way you get a complete understanding of what you're dealing with. You hear where I'm coming from, family? This is how you become very sound and very rooted in these things to the point that you can predict what they're going to do before they even get a chance to do it to you and be well prepared for it. You understand? That's the type of black mind that we need heading into the future of our people so that when you see them coming, you go ahead and shut them down with the truth and you dismiss them. See, this is why I don't let them even participate in any type of space that I hold. I don't play them games with them. It's the Jews. Okay, well, you need to go deal with them then. You say you got the highest IQs and you're so much smarter than everybody, but yet you're not smart enough how to figure out how to deal with the Jews. That's a minority in this country. Think about it. People that got such high IQs, they always wagging that in our faces, talking about how high their IQs are. Oh, they're so much smarter than everybody. Okay, so you can't figure out how to deal with this small minority of people that's just controlling all these things behind the scenes. And I'm not saying that some of that isn't true. I'm saying white supremacists that if you're so great and smart, why don't you use your system on them? Use the Jews, and man, get your goofy ass up out of here. Huh? That's the way I register with them, okay? That's how I deal with them. Again, take a look at this room with this shot. All of them looking in this man's mouth. See, let me further break down what I mean about why this is such a problem. Tethers, the men, Myron Gaines, Fresh, okay? Walter Weeks, that's Fresh's name, all right? Then all these women in here. Not one of the men in the room is challenging what he's saying because they're so weak, they want to fit in with him. And see, even though, see, here's the tragic irony of this. Let's really look at what's in this room. Myron, Sudanese Arab, want to be a white man, even thinks he's a white boy. He's even said it. White guys like us. Everybody remember he got caught on camera saying that. Fresh little goofy ass. You can tell he got insecurity issues, man, with the way he looked. This boy looked like a little mutant frog. It is what it is. And he's probably always fantasized about being a white man himself. And then you got Nick Fuentes in here who's like, damn it, I was almost white. Almost made it. If it wasn't for these Hispanic genes, I was almost in the club. So you got the two losers, Fluke and Fraud here, okay, aka Fresh and Fit. They're looking at him like, okay, well, he's the closest thing to white in this room. And now they're just looking at him like two little slobbering puppies. This is absolutely fucking pathetic. I don't have this in me as a man to sit here and idolize them folks. I keep telling y'all, I don't have any of their people as my personal heroes. I don't. I can learn things from them. I can hold a measure of respect for them if they didn't practice anti-black racism. But all my heroes are black. You understand? That's how I was raised. That's who you're dealing with over here on this microphone. In case you couldn't tell by the way I speak in my content over the years, okay? So now, when you look at this pathetic picture, all the women just sitting here looking at this white Hispanic man telling all these lies, none of them have any scholarship on anything. They're not being corrected by the men. This is a bad look for future generations of their young men that sit here and idolize them because whether you like them or not, their podcast did numbers. You had a lot of young black males watching them. A lot of them were tellers, but unfortunately, some of them were my lineage too. And I say, I'll posit to you this. Those of our lineage that watch this crap, their fathers and their mothers couldn't have been on their job about teaching them their history because they would reject this nonsense. Even if they tuned in and found it funny, you know what I'm saying, for whatever reason, they wouldn't be idolizing it. Oh, yeah. So I'm going to let this continue. He's going to continue telling these lies here because keep in mind, this is Kanye West's friend now. Let's let it continue.
I mean, people say that. But if you get called an Armenian genocide denier, does anyone even know what that means? Does anyone even give a shit? You get fired from your job? No. Even for that matter, and this is some of the stuff Ye was talking about. Ye said, how many black babies are getting aborted? Mm-hmm. You know, if I don't give a shit about that, I face no repercussion. But if I talk...
Notice what he just did, because we got to teach this lesson very thoroughly. He used Kanye West, say, Ye said, and notice that's how they try to use Chris Rock when he make coonish statements. Any black person they can find, Candace Owens, whatever, were they from my lineage or not? Well, I didn't say it. So-and-so said it. Then he acts as if he give a damn about black babies being aborted. First of all, if you really understand the things that Nick Fuentes have said and his beliefs, this man don't give a fuck about no black children. He, in his mind, thinks he's going to be a part of the white ethno state that they're looking to create. Not knowing that, let's just say they did by some odd miracle get rid of all the black people in America. He don't understand that him and Myron are going to be next. You got to go too, because they don't look at you as one of them. See, here's the painful part about history that he don't really want to face. Over here during the Jim Crow era, when some of his people was over here, they didn't want his people around either. Before they allowed them to be classified as white, oh, they gave them the blues. Same thing with the Italians, the Irish, okay? And these are definitely Caucasian people, but they gave them the blues. But if you was a Mexican or Hispanic person, oh, man, you know you were finna get that work. So you see, he doesn't understand that to true white supremacists, they don't want nothing half-breed around. That's the part that it really eats him. And see, he keeps thinking that, okay, if I just show you I'm loyal enough, if I just go out here and go after these black people enough, they'll let me in the club. No, you're going to be just like the Judenreich over there during Nazi Germany era. And the Judenreich, in case you don't know who they were, those were the ones that were Jewish that helped turn on their own people and usher them into them gas chambers. And right when they were done, they put their dumbasses in their necks right behind them. Being a coon, a sellout, sambo, a traitor, or a coward, there's no honor in that. There's no honor in that. The only thing you're going to get is just postponing the inevitable until you're no longer useful to whatever oppressor you're trying to appease. See, this is the part where manhood comes into play. The men of any generation, society, or era must stand up and show the young men and inspire the women in the community to say, look, in times of crisis, this is what you do. This is how you handle this. You stand up and face it this way. You don't beg, you don't plead, you don't try to bow down and scrape and go along to get along. The men of any society are responsible for defending it and setting the standard for what's tolerated, what's not, what's honorable, what's dishonorable, what's courageous, what's cowardly. You understand? This is what they never got a lesson in. Because I doubt Fresh knew his father either. Because he act like he didn't have a father. Now, he done kind of backed off associated with Myron because Myron is just taking it to the extremes. He's in full crash out mode, and mark my words, that boy gonna end up committing an act of domestic terrorism. He doing too much with this stuff. And it's not gonna be enough just to talk about it, okay? Sooner or later, it's coming in for anybody that, well, he was a Homeland Security officer. He wouldn't do that. Really? You better look at the profile that a lot of these domestic terrorists from these different backgrounds have over here. A lot of them do end up working for the government before they crash all the way out. He fit the profile, and I'm pretty sure they know it. Trust me. They know it. They're watching him. It's just a matter of time. I'm going to let this continue to play, though, because I want you to continue to watch this room here, how they're just looking in Nick Fuentes' mouth like a bunch of big, stupid, slobbering fucking puppies. Let's let it continue.
Talk about the Holocaust the wrong way, they come from my head. If I say it's one less than 6 million, they kill me. You lose your job. And so I said, and this is just my thesis, again, food for thought. Is it the case that, you know, every double standard about Hitler, the Nazis, the Holocaust is that way because it's all real? Or is it that way because there's a big industry that's built around that? And insofar as the Holocaustists, anytime you talk about Jewish media, Jewish slave trade, Israel, Palestine, they say, oh, that's anti-Semitic. You're going to cause another Holocaust. Fired, decapitated, blah, blah, blah. And so I feel like it's a lot more plausible that this is being used to bully people into not talking about certain topics. It's not to say that nothing bad happened. It was a world war, and there were concentration camps on both sides. Germans were put in concentration camps by Eisenhower.
Now, I want y'all to pay attention to that sleight of hand he tried to use then. They stupid asses were too dumb to catch it. When he said there were concentration camps on both sides, I want you to see how he's about to do this, okay? He was basically trying to act like Jews had concentration camps for Germans. That never happened. But he basically is being double-tongued with it because he said that, and now he's going to name out all the other countries that did have some form of camps to put people in. And see, you have to really understand history to catch these demonic lying white supremacists. I keep telling y'all. I'm going to tell you like my great-grandfather told us all. If they pink, thin, earthworm lips is moving, they lying. Don't ever trust anything that come out these people's mouth. And that includes the white adjacent ones like Nick Fuentes. Let it continue.
America put Japanese in internment camps. Yes. Japanese killed Chinese. Mm-hmm. It was a world war. It was a bloodbath. Horrible things on all sides. But this is the one you can't talk about, and it's because of the victims.
Now, you heard that idiot. Oh, it was both. They love to try that. Oh, it was both sides. Both sides did this. No, both sides didn't kill over 6 million people. Those numbers are not exaggerated or fabricated. No, man, listen. Y'all better go back. See, if you really study, just look at Mein Kampf alone and listen to how Hitler talked. Go back and study some of his lieutenants. Joseph Goebbels, okay, his propaganda minister. Hermann Goering, okay. I presented some of that information right here on this channel over the years. You better go back and study some of his top lieutenants and understand what their agenda was. These motherfuckers was thorough with executing them people. You understand? They weren't playing no games. To be honest with you, man, that right there would probably be the blueprint to use if you were trying to wipe out an entire nation of people. If you could perfect that system and just keep it running like that without any interference, you could easily devastate people. And see, again, look who Hitler learned from. He's quoted that he learned what he knew from how Americans were practicing Jim Crow over here, okay? That's where he got it from. Case in point, these white supremacists have wiped out entire ethnic groups of people around this planet. They wiped out the Tasmanian people. You saw what happened in Argentina. You see what happened in Australia. Once all black continent, they done damn near wiped out all of them and pushed the actual Aboriginal people over there in little small pockets and corners. Now what we call an Australian today has blonde hair and blue eyes. Huh? See, you better understand that when we are dealing with global white supremacy, you better understand what history is and how it's functioning. And see, this brings me to this billionaire. Okay, Mr. Richest man in the world here, Elon Musk. Now, let's be clear. I like that he's going through the books and finding out all this wasteful spending. And by the way, all they doing is pointing out Democrats. I ain't seen nothing about Republicans yet, and you won't, okay? You won't. But here's the problem with this Afrikaner. First of all, I agree with Steve Bannon on that. He has no business in our affairs. If you don't know who Steve Bannon was, he was over in the Trump administration at one point. And I'm going to tell you, white America, you better listen to Steve Bannon. He's a stomp down white supremacist as well. We ain't going to sell horses together or go get no beers together. But I understand when he has a point. This man is a foreigner. You saw him jumping up there doing Nazi salutes because you better understand they idolize Adolf Hitler, okay? This is a little apartheid baby. This is what he is, okay? You better look at the discrimination cases that he has against him over there at his so-called company, Tesla. You think, see, let me tell you something. And shout out to my good brother, Philip Scott. He did a report on this where the update on the situation about those Afrikaners being shifted over here as refugees. Boy, you don't understand, boy. In case you a continental African listening to this, we were waiting on that. We were like, okay, you gonna come over here? You boy, bring that bullshit over here with my people if you want it. You gonna learn. They would have been begging to go back real quick. Like, oh, hell no. These crazy motherfuckers over here? Oh, no. When you ain't even get started over here because, see, here's the thing. I already know how that would have went. They would have hopped their asses over here and tried to join with the first white supremacist group they could find. And then they would have sent them out to be the crash test dummies. See, let me talk to you white supremacist Afrikaners for a minute. Let me tell you what was about to happen to you. Because some of you poor ones going to come over here and you're going to learn this lesson. You're going to come over here and join the American white supremacist groups. And in order to make you prove yourself, they're going to send your stupid ass out into areas that they know not to come around black people. Do you hear me? Oh, boy, we're going to have fun with you. They're going to send your dumb ass out. Yeah, go on over here, you know what I'm saying, down here in Alabama. What's that? Oh, just go down there. You'll find out. Oh, they're going to play with you. Because they know you ain't coming back. You better study August Field, that Alabama River Brawl, and see what happened when white supremacists get out of line down here. We put foot to ass. Foundational black American freedman foot all the way straight to ass. You understand? Tattooed on ass where you can see what shoe brand we wearing, okay? That's how we do it over here. So we were waiting on you to come over here with that bullshit. I'm going to tell you something. I've had to check them over there in South Africa when I visited over there. Because see, unless you talk, they really don't know who you are. I'm going to tell you an experience I had. It was years ago. Went over there, it's at a nice restaurant and things, and standing in line, because, hey, I'm going to follow people's rules when I'm in their country. I'm kicking it with a couple more buddies, man. We talking, what have you. So one on the side, because, see, they do little goofy shit like this to them over there, all right? And I ain't saying all the South Africans will put up with it. But one of them actually had the nerve to try to cut in line against me like I was just going to be like, yo, just go cut in line. I'm just sit there like, it's cool. And family. Let me ask you a question. How you think that worked out for him? Talk to me. How do y'all think that worked out for Buddy? Let me tell you something, man. When dude tried that, And I had to put hands on him. And I grabbed his ass to the point where he was turning red. Oh my God. I like, hey man, what the fuck you think you doing, man? I like, hey, listen, I ain't from here, bro. I just went in and told him, he could tell, like, oh, I'm sorry. Nah, fuck all that. This is what you do to black people over here all the time. You don't play this shit with me. And then, here's the thing. Some of them, they get all, oh man, it's okay. I like, no, it ain't okay. I like, this ain't my country, but I'm a black man over here. You ain't gonna disrespect me. Shit, that's not gonna happen. I can't tell them what to do in their country, but goddamn it, I'm from America. Nah, our ancestors don't play that shit. Man, boy, boy, the only reason I ain't really to give his ass the business, man, because I like, when I get started, I don't want to stop. I get to having fun with it. I like, oh, never mind the music, Giblet, just keep dancing. I'm telling you, boy, don't think I didn't want to, boy, because listen, I'm going to tell you right now, that was the last time that ever happened. Because I was waiting on him to get froggy and try something outside. I like, yeah, you feel like you don't like me checking you about that? Hey, come on with it. Boy, I would have, man. Listen, of course, we're peaceful over here on this channel. We don't advocate or promote violence, but we will defend ourselves. And I will defend myself no matter where on this planet I am. I'm going to be peaceful and follow your rules. But goddamn it, you put your fucking hands on me. You trying to lose some things, okay? I get the breaking shit. That's what I do. But see, this motherfucker right here on the screen. Let me tell you something, family. And I'm talking to a lot of the continental Africans, especially the ones that are over here. A lot of you idolize this motherfucker. Because, see, I sat back and I watched how much they talk about him because he has wealth. Yes, we know, richest man in the world. How did he get rich, though? I already broke it down about where his money comes from and how he overstayed his student visa to come over here because he's an illegal alien himself. Okay, he got citizenship now, but he was an illegal alien as well. Now, where I agree with Steve Bannon, you better get his punk ass out of American business, because if the goal is to put America first, we getting all the illegals out. You shouldn't be trying to incite Trump by telling lies on the South African people, talking about, oh, the boys are being killed. Bullshit. White people live like divine royalty in South Africa. I know, I've seen it with my own eyes, and there's several other people in new black media spaces that have been there as well that can verify what I just said, okay? They do. There's a reason why they're not trying to leave. You wouldn't have been trying to incite Trump to destabilize them people's country, because what they want to do, they rejected Trump's offer to come over here. They want them to help them overthrow the black government and put them back in power so they can turn that back into apartheid South Africa. And see, let me talk to my continental African brothers over there in South Africa. You better take this shit seriously, because there's no way you should allow any powers in your country, any people in your country, to have foreign powers trying to destabilize your nation. That has to come with severe punishment. That almost created an international incident. You understand? They better get on code and put their differences aside and handle that shit. Julius Malema got the right idea. I get it. Some of his policies are controversial, but they better get on code and handle that. They better. Because, see, that was his first go around at it. What he wanted to do was get sanctions placed on South Africa so it could end up like Zimbabwe and how Haiti used to be, okay? And you see the devastation that Haiti's going through, when they had the sanctions on them, huh? You see that, right? That's what his goal was, all because when he tried to go over there and set up Starlink, the rule over there is you have to partner with a black company over there. He didn't want to do that because that meant profit sharing, and they would have access to his blueprint. So he's had a vendetta up his ass about that ever since. And he wormed his way into the echelons of power over here and tried to, I'm gonna get back at you now. That's what his goal was, okay? See, this little degenerate white supremacist apartheid baby here, that goes to show you how sick they are. Because, see, really, I like that he has the wealth that he has, and I like that he's on a world platform, because, see, we can use this to show you how sick those like him are. You get up here and tell this bold-faced lie, and see, here's the problem. Let me talk to my South African brothers and sisters again. Y'all better get y'all version of a Tariq Nasheed, Jason Black, Professor Black, true people that's going to put out documentaries to tell the truth and combat these lies, because this man has a global platform and y'all don't have a global media apparatus to counter that. If I was a South African man, I would be pressing Russians and the Chinese like, okay, you claim you're our partners, you better help us out with this media effort to clear our name. Ain't nothing happening to them people over there, nowhere near what they saying. They're mad because there's a law that says expropriation without compensation for land that they can prove is guaranteed that they stole from them people. None of them are indigenous to that land, the so-called Boers. No, they're not. They're not. Those people are invaders. They came there slaughtering and killing people, and that's how they set up shop to create a South Africa under an apartheid system, which only ended in recent history in 1994. That isn't that long ago in the grand scheme of time. Not at all. So it ended on paper, but see, here's where we are today. When you have a Truth and Reconciliation Council over there in South Africa, instead of punishing the people of apartheid that inflicted so much harm and took so many lives, they rewarded them by letting the motherfuckers serve in government instead of putting them in prison or deporting them. That is insane. Now you got East Indians over there, Lebanese in the government, and see, here's the kicker. Sure, you got a black president in Cyril Ramaphosa, but he's a spineless worm. He sit there and let people run all over him. Now he's taking a stand on this, but he doesn't believe in trying to put the economy back in the hands of the black South Africans. The white folks are the minority over there, and they run the economy. Basically, South Africa is mini America. It's reverse America, okay? What I mean by that, black people run the government, but white folks run the economy. Huh? It is one of the most modern countries, if not the most modern country on the continent, despite the load shedding. Right behind that would be Kenya, okay? And a couple other places as far as like modern infrastructure and the way things work. If you're over there on the continent of Africa, that's the country where everybody try to run to, and this is why South Africans have an issue with immigration as well, because a lot of people want to flood down there and cause a lot of problems for them. So, you know, they got their own issues and problems. But see, this right here, what Elon Musk tried to pull, they better take that seriously, man. They better take that seriously. That's something right there that has to be met with immediate punishment for AfriForm and the rest of them. They better dismantle that. That whole town they got over there, Orania, what have you, that needs to be changed. Like, how you gonna have a whole town where black South Africans can never go? I've been telling y'all about that place for years. A lot of people like, man, are you serious? I'm like, yes, it exists. Oh, yes. They can go work there, but they can't live there. Ain't that a bitch? Somebody gonna set up shop in your country and tell you where you can't go. This is what he's a child of, Elon Musk. Little apartheid baby, okay? So we're not done. I want to show y'all something else here. I want y'all to check this out. Right here, okay? I want to make sure y'all can see this. See, you know me, when I gather receipts, I'm thorough. Let me take this down. I want y'all to see this. All right? Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear as well, too. Can everybody still hear me very clearly? Because, see, we're about to get into overdrive with the cooking tonight, all right? I want to teach y'all something, especially young black people on the sound of my voice. Can everybody still hear me clearly? Give me a black fist or thumbs up in the chat. I want to make sure that every word that I speak is completely understandable, okay? I'm about to thread a hell of a needle here. You ready? All right. I see one set of black thumbs up. Where the rest of y'all at, man? Let me know you can hear me. Okay. Tanisha Murdoch, y'all can hear me. Dad Miller. All right. What's going on, my brother, Dad Miller? All right. Good deal. All right. So let me go ahead and thread this needle. I'm assuming that everybody can hear me clearly. Now, I caught this account right here. And as you see, the name of the account is Saxon African. This is a white woman, a South African Boer. Now, I want you to read a couple of things. I want you to see this. I got this up here for a reason. She says she's a libertarian, a nationalist. She believes in free market capitalism, anti-racism. Put that in your mental Rolodex. Put a pin in that. Zero tax for startups. Pro-machine learning. Okay. Now you see some of these little flags down there at the bottom of the screen. You see some South Africans are following this. Stomp down hardcore white supremacists. Okay. Let me show you what else she had to say. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Elon Musk and real Donald Trump, for shining a spotlight on what is happening to minorities in South Africa. We have been voiceless for a long time. Let me talk to my family that has never been over there. Literally, when you go to South Africa, the wealth is divided in half. The wealthy white areas are on one side, and the poor, rundown areas are on the other. When they go through what's called load shedding, in case you don't know what that is, where the power just go out, sometimes it might be 30 minutes, might be an hour or two, sometimes it could be 2 days. The white folks don't experience that. I want you to understand this shit. Look, the white folks in the wealthy resort and tourist areas where you would go if you visit, oh no, they don't have to worry about that. They don't have to worry about no load shedding, not at all. The black people, oh, well, hey. You need to understand that them folks are so spoiled over there in that country, man. When you get to places like Cape Town, because look, I was listening to one of my brothers there was talking about how shocked he was when he got to Cape Town. He saw all of them running around. I was like, man, that's been like that for years. That ain't recent. Oh, man, they've been running the yard in Cape Town. Huh? And the more higher end places in Durban and places like that. Oh, yeah, man. Listen, they are living super high on the hog. That's why they don't want to leave. Their goal is to one day be back in control of that government. And they got this anti-black racist DA party over there that they're going to fuck around and keep playing footsie with them. And they're going to end up doing it. I'm going to tell you right now, that's not my country. They're going to handle their affairs however they see fit. But they better put Julius Malema as president of that country. They better, because if they don't, okay, when you end right back up in apartheid, don't say that you wasn't warned. You don't play with these white supremacists, man. They keep lying on the world stage about the whole lie for years has been, oh, man, they just running up killing all these white farmers, this, that, the third. No, they not. Because you could tell that they was doing that in large numbers. That would be all over the BBC and everywhere else under the sun. Nah. What it is with them, when they're talking about expropriation or with no compensation, they're actually taking back land that they've been proving that belongs to people that they stole it from, as they should. Hell, to be honest with you, they better be glad somebody like me is not president. Because see, if I was president right after apartheid, man, listen, dog, I'd be like, listen, you got two choices. Now, I can deport you and you don't ever come back to this country, or I can lock your punk ass up for crimes against my people. And you going to do life sentences until you rot in this motherfucker. Y'all understand that people like Wouter Basson created chemical weapons specifically targeted to kill black people over there? And this son of a bitch is a practicing cardiologist over there in South Africa to this day, running around free, no prison time, no penalties whatsoever. See, they got to understand something that those of us that are foundational Black American freedmen know. You teach people how to treat you. And when you don't punish people that murder your women and your children, let me tell y'all something, man. What happened to us during Jim Crow? Imagine that on steroids over there. Imagine if they run around with patrols just pulling people out their house during apartheid, beating them down, sicking dogs on their children and shit. Man, they did them South Africans something bad over there, bro. I got footage of this shit. You know what? I tell you what, for my Patreon members, because I can't get away with showing this on YouTube, I'm going to post some of what that was like over there on my Patreon. Y'all be looking for that after the broadcast, because I want you to understand what I'm talking about. Because I get it. A lot of people over here in America are just in that bubble. Y'all don't understand. I study global history with black folks, okay? And see, today, a lot of them, they don't know their history. They don't know what happened to their people at the hand of these damn Afrikaners and Boers, man. And a lot of them want to forget it and just be like, oh, their slogan is they call themselves the Rainbow Nation. I'm like, no. You don't put the same people that terrorize you and reward them by letting them have positions in the damn government. See, this is where I salute the late, great Robert Mugabe when he took back his country and renamed it Zimbabwe, because it used to be called Rhodesia. A white supremacist was actually the head of that country, brutalizing and terrorizing his people. And Robert Mugabe, by the way, I think he had like 7 degrees. He was one of the most educated African presidents. The man was a former military man. That man got off his ass and said, hey, man, fuck that. Nah, God damn it, we either gonna take this country back or die trying. And damn it, he succeeded. Now, unfortunately, the current president of Zimbabwe, known as Ed the Crocodile, he is a disgrace to the Zimbabwean people. He betrayed Robert Mugabe, in fact, business, okay? And man, that I love the people of Zimbabwe. I really do. Good people, man. Good people. But those sanctions are destroying them, man. See, I got to talk to these Pan-Africanists because I got a broadcast on Patreon coming up addressing that. That's what I mean, and many of us mean when we tell you that they don't practice Pan-Africanism at home. Because, see, if all the other 54 nations over there, 53 other nations, got together and helped Zimbabwe, them sanctions would mean nothing. I'd be like, hey, man, this is what I would handle it. How I would handle it. What I would tell them, I'd be like, okay, UK, America, you going to put sanctions on Zimbabwe? Cool, no problem. You can't do business in my country no more. And not only that, we going to pull together and make sure they got everything they need. Nah, you touch one of us anywhere, you fight us all everywhere. That's what Pan-Africanism should look like. That's what it should look like. You touch one of us anywhere, you fight us all everywhere. What you do to one African country, you did to all of us. Fuck you and everything you stand for. Get out my country, get your ambassadors out, and you ain't finna have no embassies over here. Shut your military bases down. Everybody get the fuck out. And if you do get resources from here, we gonna jack up the price on your ass. You gonna pay 300% higher than what's on market value. That's how see you look. If they had a leader in place that was doing that, they'll be like, oh yeah, get some act right. I guarantee them sanctions to come off because they need them minerals and resources out from over there on that continent. That's the most mineral resource rich land on this planet. Okay, it is. I'm just telling you the truth on this. People don't have to like it. It's the truth. But see, when you have people that are puppet leaders that bow down, they ain't gonna talk to them folks like I'm saying here. Grave mistake was committed in South Africa as far as not punishing the people that did their people all that horror and atrocities over there. But see, I'm not done. I want y'all to check something else out. I want to show you something here. I want y'all to check this out.
I'm that type of a leader. My problem in South African politics is that I'm not a pushover. No one can push me around. Not white monopoly capital, not a white person, not so much powerful leader can push me around. And I'm hated for that. That no one can push me over. That such someone from a poor background, so poor family and so poor everything, who is he to think he can defy us? But that's me and that's my nature. I don't care. I stick to principle. No one can push me over. Not in a marriage, not in my family, not in politics, not in the social circle. I'm no pushover. I'm not a pushover. And I'm not going to allow.
We don't need any whites' favor. We do what we like. Even when whites say, don't come here, we go where whites say, don't come. Because we get no instruction from no white man.
Let me tell you something. That brother that you just heard speaking right there, that was Julius Sello Malema, the captain and commander-in-chief of the EFF over there. I love that brother to life. I have contacts in the EFF over there, good friends over there. Those brothers and sisters are on it, man. You hear me? That's what South Africa needs. I get it. They're going to handle their affairs however they see fit. I know that Julius has said some things and he has some ideas that they don't agree with, but you hear how that man sounds. Look, let me talk to you about why he sounds this way, okay? In case you don't know who raised that young man, okay? Winnie Mandela herself trained him. Did y'all know that? That's right. Nelson Mandela's wife, Winnie, the writer that actually took up arms and put foot to ass with her own army out there to bring apartheid to an end. Oh, yeah, there's a reason why I respect that sister. See, I respect our icons over here, but I respect theirs as well. And I wish they did as much as some of us do. Winnie Mandela was the truth. Let me tell you something, dog. You marry a woman like that, hey, you got the truth on your side. The same as I could say for Coretta Scott King, Medgar Evers' wife, okay, Malcolm X's wife, Betty Shabazz. You better understand that you recognize the riders amongst our sisters that have the courage to, if need be, they'll go to war. And this is why we don't practice that stupid gender warring like that jackass Andrew Tate. Our women are also sheroes. You damn right. Winnie Mandela trained Julius Malema to sound that way and speak that way. And see, this fucking goofy ass Afrikaner here, that's over here, Elon Musk, he hate this brother. Because he know that as long as he's alive, that, hey, you ain't gonna just come over there and do whatever the fuck you want. Ain't none of them boys gonna be able to do what the fuck they want over there. Let me tell you something, man. I done seen when the EFL get ready to mobilize and handle business over there. Oh, they shut a lot of that racism down. I just wish he had the power of the presidency. He doesn't. He's in parliament over there. But if that brother ever become president, and they better do that during his lifetime, because I promise you that would turn South Africa around overnight. Oh, but them white folks would hate that. They would get the hell on in on their own because, see, they holding on to hope that one day they can get enough of them in there and just get things back how they had it. And family, I wish I could find that video. I'm going to locate it. Family, do you know there's an actual video floating around? And it just pissed me off to say this. You know there's a video floating around where they over there in South Africa and they asking people, would they rather have the government they have now or have the government back as it was under apartheid? And you know some silly black South Africans said they would rather be back under apartheid. You know why they said that? Because they ignorant asses, the ones of them that said it, don't know what that was for their people. Now, this was in 1994 when this came to an end. See, this is why it's dangerous. And I'm talking to my lineage, my people. This is why it's dangerous for you to let the youth forget the history that happens to us, because we know the old saying, those who forget their history are doomed to repeat it. You don't know to stand up and fight if you don't know your history. They wouldn't ever be saying that if they knew what happened to their grandparents and great-grandparents, man, during apartheid. They would never say something so dishonorable. Because, see, they keep saying that they have this inferiority complex. Some, not all. Some of them and many African nations have this inferiority complex where they don't think that they can run their own societies or build their own infrastructure. So they want the Chinese to build the infrastructure, the Russians. No, you can do that. Remember what Dr. John Henry Clark told us in one of his famous speeches. He said, listen, he was talking to our people here. He said, we shouldn't even wear underwear that we don't make. As far as us being self-sufficient and productive. You understand what he meant when he was saying that? He was serious. He was like, hey, man, you mean to tell me that you can't manufacture these things that other people have produced when we taught the world? Mathematics, science, engineering, they got that from us. Yet you have people in your nation and you don't think that you can build the same thing how you can't get together and learn how to mix concrete and pave roads? Come on, man. See, this is what Julius is over there trying to instill in the people, a sense of national pride and actually putting their own people first and putting their tribal differences aside. Now, see, the EFF is made up of people from different tribes, okay? All different tribes. And he's trying to get the entire country on that, but man, boy, bless that brother's heart. He's going through it right now. He's experiencing what Malcolm and Martin experienced, because all black people over here weren't on the same page. When Malcolm and Martin were living, you had those in our community giving them pushback, and he's going through that now. I'm going to tell you what I hope to see for the brother Julius Malema. I hope to see him join forces with Captain Ibrahim Traore. I hope they get a chance to have a sit down and talk, because that's another young rider right there. I'm going to tell you something. If them two ever get on the same page, a lot going to change. A lot going to change. I really want to see that happen. I really do. And hopefully one day that'll come to pass. But I just wanted to introduce you all to Julius Malema if you are not familiar with him, okay? That brother right there is the truth. That's what that country needs. And see, when you got these demons like Elon Musk over here in our president's ear trying to destabilize their nation, hey, those are the people that you need in charge to combat it, all right? So just want to introduce y'all to him, man. Like I said, when y'all think about people that are on code, a lot of y'all tend to judge a lot of the African brothers and sisters by the tether class over here. Nah, they not all like that. Are they all like Julius? No. But you got your riders like that, and they're over there. See, the difference is they don't run over here or run to the UK. They stay over there. Julius Malema is in South Africa. He ain't in the UK. He ain't in Australia. He ain't in America. He ain't none of them places. He's at home doing what he need to do to make his country what it should be for their people, okay? The men that make change don't run all over the place, and they don't jopper nowhere, okay? So salute to that brother in the EFL for trying to make a difference. We're not done yet, though. Oh, no, we are not done yet. I want y'all to take a listen to this boy right here. I want you to listen to what they're up against, because, see, if you're a South African brother or sister, I want you to listen to this, because this should piss you off. You should be highly infuriated. at what you're about to hear, and you better understand that those of you that are the young ones, you're the future. It's going to be up to you to do what's necessary to make your country what it should be and protect it from these damn demonic white supremacists over there trying to have you living like second class or third class citizens in your own country. I want you to listen to this lie here that this boy right here is about to tell. I'm going to play this. I'm not even going to interrupt him.
Hi, my name is Jason Bartlett and I'm a white South African. I currently live in the United States and I came here illegally in 2019 and I pleaded for asylum. Now you ask yourself, why on earth would a white South African plead for asylum? Well, I'll give you a few reasons. South Africa is the rape capital of the world. It is one of the most crime-ridden countries in the world. It is the current government systematically goes out and murders the white farmers. The very people that feed them are being tortured and brutally slaughtered on a daily basis. The rape capital of the world, the infant rape capital of the world. Now, you go onto social media and you, of course, just like America, we've got screaming liberals that have got a woke mind virus. And they will tell you that everything's honky-dory in South Africa. But they don't tell you that those are the multimillionaires who live in estates behind 10-foot fences that are electrified and paid security guards to monitor those areas for 24 hours. Just other side those fences, people after 7 o'clock at night. People can't go for a walk at 7 o'clock at night. Maybe a couple of men can go, but you know what? How about the women? They can't go anywhere when the sun sets. You can consider them raped, you can consider them abused, and you can consider them kidnapped. What happens in South Africa is pure evil. Now, I came to America, I came here legally, and I came and I established myself, and as a true South African, like Joe Rogan says, America needs people that are not losers. And I'm not a loser. I came over here with a few $100s and a suitcase, and I've developed a career for myself. I'm now a superintendent of a golf course. I pay a lot of tax. I support the government. I support the American flag, and I support the American people. I also became a qualified pilot. I am in charge of a farmer's market, as well as I now run a 150-acre farm of my own, where I raise cattle and sheep, all grass-fed and all for the American people, because that's in my blood. That's what I do. And what the most detrimental part to my soul is the fact that people can stand up and say everything's okay in South Africa. Because that is my reality. I came here because I've been through some traumatic experiences, including myself and my wife. We've lost family members. We've lost people that we love. And the day-to-day basis of crime and atrocities that are happening in South Africa is something that we don't want to live with. We wanted to come to America, live the American dream, and by the grace of God, we have achieved that. And we're getting stronger and better. However, since 1652, white people have been in South Africa. They've bought their land and they've acquired their land legally. And
I got to stop this lying son of a bitch right here. I got to stop him right here. No. We got to work on these lies that he's telling. Let's go ahead and get the truth out there about the violence that the boys have experienced. Let me tell you something. The younger generation of South Africans, they ain't playing that bullshit. What ends up happening a lot of times, this is what they're not telling you. The violence that they experience is when they go over there, call themselves trying to push down on the African brothers and sisters and terrorize them. And then, hey, let me tell you something. Hey, they got them things over there. Sometimes the choppers may come out. Hey, man, Joburg, hey, man, listen, dog. Try it if you want to. They ain't talking about, okay, you done ran up here and tried to jump on one of them and then they catch your ass slipping. They be like, all right, nah, jump on us now. That's what they're not telling you, okay? Oh, my God. They ain't telling you what they did to get their asses handed to them like that. It ain't a whole bunch. Because look, for the most part, they just as safe as they can be over there, man. Black South Africans don't bother the people unless they start fucking with them. That's what they're not telling you. They always trying to play victim. The same as the white supremacists over here. But see, notice that lie he told about, oh, they came over here with a few $100s in their pocket, man. Bullshit. We've seen in just the recent, you know what I'm saying, a few days here, all these damn entitlement programs that these different countries get. You think they weren't getting some of that? You think that these white immigrants aren't prioritized to get that money? Come on now. Nah, so he can go ahead on with that $100 in his pocket, come over here lie. We know better than that. Then, the lie he told about they came over there in 1652 and bought their land. No, they did not. They came over there slaughtering and killing people and stealing land. They can't look. See, when they tell them lies, if you know history, you be like, okay, prove it. Show these where your family actually purchased something from the Khoisan people over there, because that was the indigenous people of that region mainly. There were other tribes down there. But see, when you see, look, for my young South Africans, this is why y'all better get studious about your history so you can debunk these lies and say, listen, nah, you say that y'all bought the land. Who? From who? Because they wasn't selling their land to nobody. Nah, you ran people off and killed people and then settled up and made damn towns talking about where they can't go. In 1652, those people come from the Netherlands, man. They are not indigenous to that area. And see, this is the lie they all try to tell, especially the boys. They try to act like they came to that area during that time period and it was just abandoned and empty. Boy, the lies that these low-down, dirty, demonic white supremacists will tell, they are the same all over the world. They're the same all over the world. You understand? But see, I just want you to know the truth about that. And see, look, he talking about it's the rape capital and infant capital. What they're not telling you is who doing most of the raping. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that there are no black South Africans that don't participate in that. There are problems over there. Yes, there are. With their women, their women have a lot of problems. But the ones that commit the greater majority of the offenses, see, look, let me tell you something. You know how they always try to pull that? Black people are 13% of the population and commit 52% of the crimes, which is mathematically impossible. Well, guess what that actually would be a true stat at? It would be true over there in South Africa where them white folks commit most of the crimes, God damn it, and they the minority population. Boy, but see, they don't want to talk about that. And the other thing that just grinds my fucking gears, man, because I love my South African brothers and sisters. I love them, man. I really do. They treat me nice every time I've gone over there. Man, what grinds my fucking gears is they won't challenge that shit and be like, no, look at all these crimes y'all commit over here, man. They be bringing all kinds of drugs in the country, and them be the ones raping and molesting little South African girls and shit, man. Look, they're not telling the truth about why they get their asses handed to them, man. Ain't nobody just running up on them for no reason. You understand? Yeah. So, I mean, you know, like I said, they're going to have to get together a mechanism to combat them lies and start putting out media of their own to tell the truth. And I'm going to say it again. If the Russians and the Chinese claim they're such partners, I'll be like, you're going to have to help me with this. You see what these lies they telling on me. And see, I'll say this again. I can't tell them how to run their affairs, but I really wish they would have stayed neutral in that Israel-Palestinian situation. I understand why they call Israel out for that, because I'm going to be honest, I will say this. That is not fair. That is not fair. That is not honorable warfare. You got all types of multi-million-dollar tanks, equipment, and you just bombing and attacking them people like that. So I do get it. It's not fair, but unfortunately, as a foundational Black American, I can't put the cape on for them people. I can't, because those people they don't cape for us. But I do see what's going on. So I acknowledge it's terrible. It's not right. Shouldn't be going on. But at the same time, I wish South Africans would focus more on securing their nation from these treacherous, treasonous, white supremacist boards that's over there. In other words, they don't understand that they got to put their own house in order first. And that's what they need to be dealing with. That's what I wish they would deal with. I'm going to tell them what they should do, because that's their country. But I'm just showing y'all the type of propaganda they deal with. Because, see, his little ass is over here. Yeah, there's a couple of them over here in the small numbers. But, see, man, if they would have came over here in the numbers that Trump was going to bring them, you better go to the whitest states you can find and stay there. Cause you come around my people with that bullshit like you got going on over there, oh, we're going to educate you real quick. And I said educate for a reason, okay? So I just had to go ahead and cut in on him. I'm going to let him finish up with his bullshit. Let's let it continue.
Now, Cyril Ramaphosa, which is our pagan ANC leader, has signed into law expropriation of land without compensation. So if you white, they can come up to you and tell you, hey, we want that land and we're going to take it and we're going to pillage it and we're going to rape the earth and we're not going to create food for anybody and you can't say anything about it. Zimbabwe 2.0. How did that work out? So this...
Nah, I ain't gonna let him get away with that. Zimbabwe 2.0. How did that work out? See, basically, let me tell you the audacity of these people. Family, you know over here in America, you know if you know the history of Jamestown, Virginia, the famous starving time. These people were too stupid to know how to plant crops in the ground to the point that they had to start cannibalizing each other. They're the same anywhere. These folks are basically telling Africans that have spent generations working the land that you can't grow your own food without white people to do it, as if you better farmers than the people that understand the indigenous land. Huh? That's what they want you to believe in. See, all this Zimbabwe 2.0. No, the only reason Zimbabwe is struggling is because of them sanctions. Take them sanctions off that country and watch what happens. They know not to do that, though, because that's a very mineral-rich country over there. They got a lot of platinum over there. Okay, same in South Africa, a lot of different resources over there. But see, when you got those sanctions on them from primarily the UK and America, and then, look, see, here's the thing that killed me. If you put those crippling economic sanctions on my country, I'm not going to be cordial with you in no way. You can't have nothing in my country. Don't come over here. Don't visit. No, hell no. I'm not going to reward you for mistreating me and my people. You see, they got to understand what type of message that sends the younger people in your nation. Now, whatever you do unto others, whatever you do unto me, I'm going to do unto you. So, yeah, that Tim taking that little jab, no, Zimbabwe 2.0. No, man, no. The Zimbabwean people, we just find that the damn sanctions went over there on that country. And they would even be fine right now if the other nations weren't so afraid to help them, because see, the only reason that they don't help them, they're thinking, oh my God, America gonna place sanctions on us too. Man, fuck them. And anybody else that tried that. That's what I would be saying if I was over there. I'm like, hey man, you ain't gonna tell me what to do in my nation. No. They're gonna have to come out of that fear, man. And see, this is where I hope that brothers like Julius Malema and Ibrahim Traore can kind of band together and raise that sense of nationalism to the point they'll be like, hey man, we not afraid of you. We not worrying about what you saying. You're going to cut off fat to business, take all your aid. Get all that out from over here. Get all your people out from over here. We going to run our country how we see fit. That's what I would love to see over there. And I hope that the youth embrace more of that spirit, because see, let me talk to my brothers and sisters over here. You better understand that the youth that stay in their country, they're listening to us. You understand me? A lot of them idolize us, man. They really do. It's not like this. See, this is what I want my people to understand. Do not judge all continental Africans by these goofball tethers over here. Because one thing I will respect South Africans for, black South Africans, they don't leave their countries in large numbers like that. They really don't. Very few of them will go somewhere else and leave. No, as much as they dealing with, they stay home, man. And I can't do nothing but respect that. I can't do nothing but respect that. They're very similar to us in many ways, okay? They really are. If you ever go there, you'll see what I'm talking about, you know? So, like I said, do not judge all of them by these goofball tethers over here. Because like I said before, usually the tethers that's over here that's disrespectful to our lineage, they weren't no good back home. And then nobody fool with them over there either. That's why a lot of the time they've done goofy stuff where they had to bounce and can't come back. But this lying bastard right here, man, I really hope they tighten up on that now that they Elon Musk try to pull that goofball move over there, because see, they're gonna end up trying to overthrow the government over there pretty soon. And they want, see, that's what they want. They talking like that, sending little dog whistles, keep telling that lie about how bad they being treated. And you go over there, you be like, where all this bad treatment? Let me tell you something. If you were to go over there and spend a month over there, you wouldn't see nothing bad happen to them people, man. They just as free as a fucking jaybird. He talking about where they can't go and or only the rich people got security. Bullshit. I'm going to tell you something. I just got to say this and call it like it is. Over there, they have, okay, the black people, got white folks, East Indians, got some Lebanese over there, Chinese running around, some Russians in and out of there. Okay, but then you have the colored class. Those will be what we call biracial people over here. Have one, a black South African parent, and one of another lineage, East Indian, etc., so on and so forth. Let me tell you something, man. White people are just as safe over there because unfortunately a lot of them can't wait to be up under white folks. Boy, they love those white people over there. A lot of them do. I mean, you know, I just got to tell it like it is. So all this, think about it. How you gonna be not safe in a place where everybody bent over backwards for you? Which one is it? Huh? See, look, a lot of people notice this. When you go on flights to go to different African countries, packed full of white folks, and most of them heading straight to South Africa. You know why? Because they know how they're going to be treated when they get there. I just got to tell the truth, shame the devil on that. So, no, the math ain't adding up on that. Oh, my God, they're out there, they're running this all. No. You would see that all over the place. You would see people coming. Think about it. We're in the information age. If they were being done so dirty, why you don't really see footage of nobody recording all this bad stuff happening to them, where it's just droves of black South Africans roaming in hungry packs just trying to attack the first boy they see? Nah, when they get on your ass, it's because you done did something over there to them people. Because they still want to be over there in their country and practice anti-black racism against them. Ain't that a bitch? You're going to be in somebody else's house and try to tell them what they can and can't do and mistreat them. So that's the truth of it. And don't take my word for it. Y'all go take a trip over there and see one day for yourself. Let's let it continue.
Over here is just a video for you to understand that those white South Africans and white South African farmers are entitled to their land. They're entitled to what they have.
You entitled to something that you stole from people? Really? You hear how this is how crazy they are. They think they're entitled to land that they stole from people. Boy, you can't make this up.
They do not have to leave that country. They do not have to be forced to leave that country. So the wonderful country of the United States is always willing to help. They're always willing to help, always signing checks to places like Ukraine, places like Gaza, everything like that. The people that hate America get so much support. How about you take a look at a petition that my friend Willem Petzer and TV Wessels have put together, and they're going to go to the embassy this month, and they're going to hand it over, and you're going to see the hundreds of thousands of white farmers that support Donald Trump. We're not asking for handouts, but we are asking for intervention so people can rightfully keep their property, because no one's going to invest in a country that has expropriation without compensation. Nobody in their right minds would do that. So this is a message to Donald Trump. President Donald Trump, Elon Musk, people like Joe Rogan need to share this far and wide, because you know why? That is illegal what they've done. It is unethical and it is incorrect. So how about we help the good people for a change?
Family, did you hear that nonsense coming out that filthy, demonic, lying boy's mouth? Did you hear that? They actually do think they're entitled to the land that they've stolen from them people's ancestors. Yeah, and see, unfortunately, you have some black South Africans talking about they're a part of us and all. Like, okay, that's a part of you. He over here and still perpetuating that damn lie. See, we know better than to trust them folks like that. We know better than to trust them like that. You can't trust them no further than you can throw this planet. But see, I just wanted to show y'all that. But see, now we got to jump back over here. I got to show y'all some more here before we wrap this up. I got to show you some more here. This is Andrew Tate's brother, Tristan Tate. Now, why am I showing you this? I want you to see something now to show you how white supremacists, and pay attention to my South African brothers and sisters that happen to catch this broadcast, or my continental African brothers and sisters, or Caribbean brothers and sisters that catch this broadcast. I want you to pay attention to this so you will understand why Foundational Black American Freedmen over here tell you that white supremacy is global. This is Tristan Tate, the little tragic mulatto, Andrew Tate's brother. Listen to what he's saying. I've been talking about the issue in South Africa and even offering financial support to Afrikaners since 2023. Watching the world wake up is vindication. Now, above that, he said, if you need a pro-Second Amendment argument, just look at what's happening to farmers in South Africa. Not a damn thing. Ain't nothing happening to them. I showed you that to show you how even this little tragic mulatto that's all the way over in the UK, or Romania, wherever the fuck they at now, is in lockstep with them white supremacist Afrikaners over there in South Africa. You see how they all on the same page? See, See, this is what a lot of the class don't understand. You could take an American white supremacist, UK white supremacist, a German white supremacist, a Russian white supremacist, an Australian white supremacist. You could take them, a Spanish one, from all different parts of the globe. Some of them could actually have historic beef with each other. But the minute that they're around another black person, all that go out the window and they get on code. They don't have no tribalism. They have one system, global white supremacy. And I hope that this proved to you exactly what I meant about that so far. Because a lot of continental Africans are always slobbering over Andrew Tate with that goofy gender war and shit. Now I've shown you here tonight what him and his brother Tristan think. Especially if you were South African. So a lot of you South African men be slobbering over them Tates. This motherfucker here is perpetuating, trying to get your country destabilized. Telling lies about what's happening to the farmers over there. And y'all know for a fact, if you live over there, nothing's happening to them people like they saying. Yeah. Then, let's fast forward back over here to the Kanye thing. Now, this is Sister Claudia Jordan. Okay, a lot of you know who she is. You probably have heard of her. I need to point something out about what this tweet she made was right here, though, because she said, although I do not agree with Kanye's recent anti-Semitic rant at all, I do see that his little stunt exposed how they really only get mad at black men and continue to make excuses and protect white men who do a full-on Nazi salute, talking about Elon. Did y'all notice the same energy was not killed? Well, Claudia, here's the thing, sister. You brought up what Kanye said that was anti-Semitic, but where's your critique of what Kanye has said that's in support of these white supremacists and his anti-black American statements that Kanye has made with his cooning ass? Yeah, I see everything that she's talking about. I get it. But see, this coddling Kanye and not calling him out when he's saying egregious things towards our community, that shit got to stop, man. To hell with that. We are not in an hour of history where we can afford to play these games. You see, we got foreign white supremacists like Elon Musk over here that's got influence over our current sitting orange president. So we can't afford to play any games amongst those of us in our community or from our community, because he's not in the community. He's from it, but he's not of it. I want y'all to pay attention to these things that you learned over here tonight, family, because, see, it's going to be us that make the difference between, like, holding the line and just pure chaos running amok because we got treasonous people amongst us because they're idolized because of wealth and status or what have you, okay? But they ain't worth two dead flies put together. You see who else chimed in on her tweet, though? Oh, DJ working with the feds, Vlad over here. Yeah, him. Yeah, Mr. Allegedly working with the feds, Vlad. Yes, yes, indeed. He says, well, I said, look, that was ambiguous. It's a lot different than directly praising Hitler. And, you know, and look, you're trying to gaslight about that. We know what we saw. Those of us with sense. And she's telling him, Vlad, stop it. Let's not play dumb. Shaking my head. Family, DJ Vlad is Russian. Y'all know that, right? Y'all know that. That's a Russian guy. He claims that he's Jewish. I've heard him make that statement, but he's Russian. You see how he's on the same page with the little tragic mulatto Tristan Tate, the Lion South Afrikaners, Donald Trump, whoever you, Elon Musk, they all on the same page is the point that I'm making here by showing you that. And I know those of us that are violinists get it, but you South African brothers and sisters better wake up. We tell you white supremacy is global. We mean it. It would behoove you to get the work of our ancestor, Neely Fuller Jr., and study it from pillar to post so that you understand what you're dealing with. Because if you don't, like he said, if you don't understand white supremacy, everything that you do think you understand will only confuse you. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that I was able to thread several needles for you over here tonight. This broadcast shall remain up as far as I'm concerned, but if it does not, you will be able to find it on my Patreon. And as I said, I'm going to get that evidence and post it to you, post it to Patreon over there so that you all can see what they did to a lot of South African brothers and sisters during apartheid. We had our struggles during Jim Crow. They had theirs during apartheid. So that history right there is something that is greatly needed to be taught over there in that country. It needs it, man, because, you know, when you have the younger generation forgetting that history, it leaves them vulnerable to the still ever-present threat over there. You see these people are actively still trying to put that country back into an apartheid state. And it's up to them whether they let it go that way or not. As far as our people over here, dealing with these coons and sambos, that's up to us to let them know that they're not going to be continuing to cut our throat and be a liability to the community. We're going to put a stop to that, definitely, okay? And that whether it's Kanye West, Andrew Tate, who Elon Musk, it doesn't matter. We're not going to sit here and turn a blind eye to things that are detriment to our people. So I hope all of you was able to learn something tonight. Thank you to everybody who contributed to the broadcast. We're going to be cooking with hot fish grease over here in the next couple of days. And in case you haven't saw it yet, if you're not a Patreon member, we're going to have an X Space coming up this Friday at 9 p.m. It's going to be a very interesting X Space because we're going to be discussing the ally conversation in Black America. Oh, yes, it's going to be a very interesting discussion when that space is launched over there. And hopefully, if you set your reminder for it, you will be able to join us during that. All right? So remember, we are a great and mighty people. Take care of yourself and your families. And remember, family, the only way that we're going to succeed as a people is by being on code, looking out for each other, and making sure that Black empowerment is the ultimate goal across the board. Salute to you, Black first, and I will see you all in future content.